We'll be with y'all in just 1 second. In the meantime, enjoy a little bit of music from the cassette for Down We Go, the sounds of Infinitopolis.
I'm thinking if I want to back this game myself, actually.
I just took it live. I think that's great. That's the first thing everybody heard. Look at that. A game so tempting. Even the designer is like, I gotta hop on and back this.
Gotta have me one of those.
Gotta give me, because I told Marcus, Marcus was like, can I have a copy of everything that got made? And I said, absolutely not. Go back the game if you want it. You think just because you designed this that you can have a copy? Hey, my name is Tony Vicinda. I'm Chief Alchemist here at +1 EXP, and this is our Roll for Content channel. We're a weird little brand that multi-classes in tabletop game design, beard and skincare alchemy, and the Bardic College of Content Creation. Our hope and desire is to help amazing designers find great players who love their games and help great players find amazing designers whose games they can love. We do that in a lot of different ways. One of the main ways is just by sitting down and playing with those designers, which we are doing today. We're actually playing with a number of people who are on the development team as well as the lead designer for Down We Go. Marcus, tell everybody who you are, what you do, but also tell us what Down We Go is.
All right. Hey, everyone. My name is Markus. I'm from the west coast of Sweden, Gothenburg, city of Gothenburg. And I try to create cool things for RPGs, OSR mostly, like minimalist games. And I created this game called Down We Go about, 9-10 months ago. What is it now?
10 months
Something
now.
like that. 10 months now. My God, time flies. Anyway, I tried to make a game small enough to fit on one A5 page. I wanted it to be a quick game that you could just pick up and read, and in 5 minutes you're off exploring a dungeon. And so this is like my take on my experience of what the OSR scene is. That's it.
Awesome. And somebody does say, and I don't know who they're referring to, impress me with your character voice as Dogman, and I will upgrade to the 200. I'm going to guess that's a Euro sign tier. And so everybody's got to whip out the good character voices. I think we all know potentially who that might be.
It's definitely not me.
We are going to be playing Down We Go tonight. We're going to be kind of creating a dungeon as we go, which is not the normal mode for Down We Go, but I started the process and didn't finish the process earlier. So we're all going to be figuring out what happens together, and we'll probably be doing a lot of team brewing as we go through. One of the great things about Down We Go is the lore as loot system, which is the ability to take rumors, ask the players to answer them, and then to weave those into the campaign, which, depending on how much of that you want to do, can enter into a near almost GM-less mode of play. We're not going to go quite that far, but I am going to be leaning on some of our other players and co-designers to help with that process. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and meet them. Walt, go ahead and tell people who you are, what you do, where they can find you online, but also how you're contributing to Down We Go.
Yeah, hi, I'm Walton Wood. I do the Liber Ludorum blog. That's liberludorum.com. It's a very difficult name to remember, I'm sure. I randomly came across Down We Go, probably not quite 10 months ago, but a few months ago, and I just fell in love with it instantly. I love the influence from Dark Fort, and I really like GM stuff since I'm usually the GM running this game. And I immediately attacked Tony and Markus and said, please let me work on this. So they stooped to letting me be the editor for this first release, and I'm super happy to be contributing to this awesome game, and just as excited to be playing with everyone here tonight.
And then last but not least, we've got Navi. Navi, tell people who you are, what you do, where they can find you online, but also what you're contributing for Down We Go.
I'm Navi, and you can find me at Navi Musing on Twitter or at a couple of drakes.com, which is to my a couple of drakes.itch.io, so same link there. I'm known for making really niche games, so my games are all very, very specific, and in this case, for Down We Go, my partner and I are making the Velvet pamphlet. It's a floating theater district that will appear, and in our typical fashion, it will be filled with all of the poetic and creepiness that you can handle.
Awesome. I'm super thrilled by it. We've got a couple of little screen caps of both some of the text and the absolutely phenomenal front of it. That I was commenting on this on Twitter earlier, but the skirt alone on the character on the front of it is worth the cost of admission. It's just a gorgeous piece of art and design. So I'm super excited to dive into it. Normally when I'm running Down We Go, I'll pick a faction that sends you out on a mission to whatever dungeon I've happened to select to kind of create what the adventure is going to be. However, tonight that's not the case. Tonight y'all are headed to a party from someone who you used to spend a lot of time with. You used to know the fourth member of your historical adventuring party, the person who brought you all together, who helped train some of you, who you all have this deep-seated relationship with. This is also, we're playing a very high-level version of Down We Go. There's no technical level cap on Down We Go, I guess. At this point, we've never said a specific, hey, you have to stop at this level. I mean, theoretically, there's 28 slots on the sheet if I just did my mental math right. And that you'll be able to fill. We're playing level 8 adventurers, so they're very experienced, very powerful, have been around for a little while. I am not featuring factions in this one, Aaron King. I apologize. The factions are potentially one of my favorite parts about Down We Go so far. Aaron did an absolutely phenomenal. Maybe a faction will make an appearance. Maybe somebody will mention one as we're going through for sure. But y'all have been invited to basically a post-retirement gathering and party out at your friend's estate. Your friend's name in classic Tony is in charge of this character's name is Thrag. And so Thrag has invited you out to their estate to come visit them in their retirement, to reminisce on the anniversary of his departure 3 years after he's left. So there's been a little bit of time since y'all have last seen Thrag. I want to kind of get to know your characters though. So go ahead and tell me a little bit about your character. We'll go in reverse order. So Navi, go ahead and tell me about your character who you've made.
All right, so tonight I will be playing Little Sister Mercy of the Order of Sneaky Underhanded Bullshit. So it's going to be a mix of holy and sneaky. It should be a lot of fun. Yeah. Is there anything else I should cover here?
No, actually, let's talk about this. So we let you take, there's an option that's not in the playtest rules, which is basically a master ability. Once you've leveled out a class, you can take a custom ability that you work with on the GM. You have a custom ability. It's the first one anyone's ever played. Tell us what custom ability you created for Mercy.
Okay, so I discovered that normally you have to have 7 points all in one stat, but since I am playing a sneaky cleric, I was able to split between holy and sneaky and get that 7-point bonus. So I took ward. It allows me to allow a friend to reroll a failed defense.
Awesome. Love it. Awesome. Walt, tell us a little bit about your character.
I am playing Rondon John Van Zant. I went pretty much entirely sneaky. And picked up 2 levels in mystical, mostly the sneaky mystical stuff. So I'm hard to hit. I'm not going to hit anything though.
Excellent. And anything else we should know about your? Oh, I should have asked Navi. I'll ask you, what gift are you bringing to your friend? Because every one of you was asked to bring a gift to your friend on this anniversary.
I decided to bring an overly aggressive rat that has been trained to steal keys in a little canary box, little canary cage, and so that's her gift.
Awesome. Walt, how about you? What gift have you brought for Thrag?
I brought a prosthetic leg because I heard they retired because they lost their leg in a dungeoneering accident.
There we go. And then Markus, tell us about who your character is and what gift they are bringing with them.
All right, so I'll be playing a barbarian type character. I have a lot of points in bloodthirsty and some sneaky, and my name is Killum. And I'm part wolf, I think. I'm what you call a wolfborn. So I guess I have the fangs, and yeah, I'm also really hairy. And I'm bringing a yak.
Excellent.
I've been leading a yak down from the northern mountain range somewhere.
Anything special about this yak? Or are you just like, you know what Thrag always loved?
Yeah, it's like it's my village's biggest yak ever. It's a record-setting yak. Yeah, probably won't fit in through the door, but
prime yak time.
Yep.
Excellent. Y'all have heard a lot of rumors about Thrag in retirement. You've heard a lot of, different things, as well as all of your experiences with this somewhat like mystical, hard to understand character who led each of you into a life of delving. You've heard, Walt, that there is that he's erected some very, very extensive kind of outside, not quite gardens, but kind of artistic installments. What's a rumor you've heard about these art installments that are all around his property?
Ooh, lots of realistic sculptures, like the kind where, you turn a corner and you think there's someone there, but it's just maybe normal looking, maybe kind of creepy looking sculpture of someone or something, or maybe some yak.
Sculptures, love it. Markus, you have heard that he has been raising a very rare type of pet that he caught on one of your last adventures, and that he's been breeding them. What type of pet did you hear that he has been raising?
Woolly spiders, and I actually brought him some eggs from my village, because we use them as beasts of burden up there. They're about the size of a, what do you call those big Irish dogs? Like a Irish wolf dog or something?
Yeah.
They're about that size. 8 legs, all white hair.
Awesome. Love it. So you brought him some extra eggs so that he can have some new kind of members to breed into his collection. That's
oh yeah, they're in the, like, on some kind of saddlebag on the yak.
Awesome, excellent. And then Navi, little sister has heard that Thrag has erected a very, very large art d'objet, like a big piece of art in the middle of the hall in which you gather. What does the art represent, and what's special about it?
Oh, well, that's fun. It represents, I want to say, a multitude of different faces from different philosophers. And what's special about it is you can get into philosophical debates with them, but each face has a different personality and a different opinion.
Awesome.
Wow.
Love it. And then each of you, and we'll get into some other rumors as we go, start thinking about the first delve you ever went on with Thrag, and what the loot was when you accomplished that. You don't need to answer yet, but just kind of stick that in the back of your mind. What did you dive down and find on your first trip down with Thrag? I'm going to want to know those a little bit later. So just kind of stick that back in your mind, and we'll talk about it more. Thrag lives a little ways out of Infinopoulos, so trying to get everybody's names. Cillian, you came down into the city and met with everybody else, and y'all have then traveled back out of the city and are headed out to the estate on it's about a half-day travel out, so close enough to still be considered kind of part of the general area of the city, but remote enough that it doesn't get a lot of foot traffic. This part of the city is it's kind of towards the slum side of the city. Though the districts constantly move around, the slums favor the northeastern slope of the city of Infonopolis, and it seems like as you're passing out that way, it almost feels like the rubble around you is a continuation of those same things, even to the point where as you come up on this estate, you're struck that it's in horrible repair. You can see it from a distance on a hilltop of what looks like a mountain of rubble itself, as if small hovels had just caved in on themselves, and this giant estate has been built on top of that, even though it seems to almost be a shambling mess itself. And so you notice that in the distance as you all start to approach. And I'm going to let you all talk to each other as PCs for a second while I answer the question of a teenager who just walked up to me.
This place looks terrible.
It does. I guess you ran out of money.
It looks better than it did before.
What did it look like before?
Like this, but smaller and crappier.
Did we get the date wrong? Is he expecting us today?
I mean,
pulling out papers, looking for the invitation.
Yeah, as you look at the invitation, yeah, the date's 100% the right date. You're a little early, but like what you would kind of expect if you're showing up to someone's house in the middle of the country. Like you're going to be there within about 30 minutes of when you're supposed to arrive, but a little bit on the earlier side. Markus, how is the yak navigating kind of these crumbling apart pathways underneath your feet?
By sheer brute force. If anything gets in its way, it just keeps moving. It's unstoppable. It's a slow-moving juggernaut, force of nature yak. Yeah.
Awesome. As the pathways kind of get narrow and start to because you're almost spiraling up this pile of rubble at this point in time to get up to the house. As the pathways narrow, what are you doing to help the yak navigate these pathways?
I just shout at people ahead of it to get out of the way.
Oh, there's no one ahead, but they narrow down to almost only 3 or 4 feet at some places.
I guess I'll go up behind it and just if it gets stuck, I try to push it.
Okay. So go ahead and roll just give me a D6 roll. Let's see how. Oh, you do. You're pushing it from behind. So you're just trying to basically use its force and your force in concert with each other. So
yeah.
Go ahead and take a +2. You've got a 4 in 6 chance of this working out just right. So as long as you don't roll a 1 or a 2.
3.
Just barely. There's a couple close points, and there's times where you're it's half of its legs are off the path, and you're kind of forcing it forward along one side, but you're able to make it up with the yak without much trouble. But behind, what's the marching order? Are y'all in front of or behind the yak right now for the other two?
I'm going to go with behind the yak since it's just kind of barreling through everything.
Ditto, but with enough distance that I can avoid any yak pies that might be left in the wake.
Y'all are able to avoid the yak pies without much trouble, but if Navi, if you'll roll a D6 for me also too, you're noticing that as it steps, lots of times the entire side of the pathway will just kind of cave in and down and kind of leave this gap behind it.
6, and probably the only one I'll get tonight.
As y'all kind of there's a couple points where y'all basically have to climb along the side of this pile of rubble in order to kind of span the gap, but you're able to do it without hitting any sort of yak pies as you go also too. And so you're able to very easily make it across to the other side. Again, as y'all wind up, eventually it starts to kind of level off and flatten out. There's the smell of kind of dust and mild decay in the air as all of a sudden you see this estate in front of you, if estate could be a term. It's the exact same shape as you would expect from an austere estate. However, the entire thing, you can't tell if it's in the middle of being constructed or in the middle of falling apart or both simultaneously. There are sections with scaffolding on the outside, and there are sections that have caved into itself. But around it, you do see this kind of labyrinth-like maze that is just these raised pieces of rebar and pieces of wood that have been shoved into the ground that look like they may have been supports at one point in time. And you can see dotted through them what looks like a mass of bodies standing in a number of different positions. And you can tell that you've reached the edge of the art installation that leads up to the front path of Thrag's estate. But it is kind of this wicked looking set of pickets that's just a mix of random building materials scattered around with this art. What do you do?
Have we seen this before, or is this the first time we're seeing it?
You have not seen this instance. Like I said, you've heard rumors of this. You know that Thrag was a fan of mazes. Like a big part of what led him into delving was just his love of labyrinthine and maze-like structures, even from being a young child. So it doesn't surprise you to see one. And Rondon John Van Zant had heard about these different art installations that he had put up here around his mansion. But this is your first time kind of seeing it in effect. And it has a mechanical and like gruesome austerity to it. It's definitely seems like a hodgepodge of random materials, but they've been arranged very intentionally and meticulously.
I have to go do the bad thing. I'm going to go touch them, and like they're so lifelike, just touching them everywhere.
So yeah, as you kind of head into the maze, and like I said, you can see them from the outside. As you head in and you get close to one, go ahead and roll a d6 for me.
4.
4. Yeah, it's just tell me about what this one looks like.
I think it looks like a woman with the head of a swan. Very convincing.
Yeah, and so as you kind of feel it, it's like there's obviously a kind of metallic structure inside, but as you reach up and you feel it, it actually kind of crumbles under your touch a little bit. It's very
Oops.
The surface area is very delicate and almost powdery.
Yeah, I'll retract really quickly and like nobody saw that.
I'm not paying for that.
No, you've got a yak to worry about.
Oh, that's right. How am I gonna get the yak through all of this?
Straight toward the house.
Yeah.
Walls, no walls, doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, I can ride the yak for you and make sure it does a good job.
That's good. That's a good idea.
Y'all are absolutely able to if you want to try to drive the yak straight, it would fit, but it'd be a really tight fit. You can go straight. You'll be knocking down. It looks like this winds around 3 or 4 times. Like you can see, because like I said, it's picketed, so you can kind of see through the different walls, but it's at least 3 or 4 wraps around. So you can absolutely try to drive it through if you want to.
Yeah. Do you want to ride it? I mean, I've never seen anyone ride it, but if you want to do it, go ahead.
Let me ask you this: do I know that there are giant spider eggs in the yak's satchel?
Yeah, I'm really proud of them.
Oh no, I'm not going near that yak then.
They're eggs. They're harmless. They're not dangerous until they're like 5-6 years old. You're fine. You're fine.
Maybe I'll just ride on the horns. Away from the eggs.
Yeah. Maybe we all should ride it.
Then again, it would be pretty funny to see little sister, or maybe both of us, like each on one horn, navigating for the yak.
Go ahead.
I feel like you're just trying to like split the responsibility if we break a bunch of stuff. But I'm in.
No, it's his yak. The responsibility is all his.
I'll hang the little rat cage off of one of the horns and climb up.
So you hang the cage up and you kind of climb up on one side. We see Ronton John Van Zant get up on the other side. Do either of y'all have yak driving experience? It sounded like Van did not. Any experience in your time delving that little sister Mercy has been able to pick up yak driving as a skill?
I want to say goats and llamas. Yes, yaks. This is new.
Okay. Is Cilium staying, following through or getting up on top?
No, I want to ride it. I want to ride it too.
Okay. Go ahead, Cilium. Go ahead and make a D6 roll for me.
1.
Yeah. So you start to drive the yak forward, and you break through kind of the first wall of the labyrinth, and as you get to the second one, you see the yak spear itself on this sharp piece of rebar that's pointing out to it, and it just kind of it heaves up and shakes everybody and starts to throw you off. You can either try to hold on, otherwise it's going to fling you off. So you can try to hold on, or you can go with the flow and just try to land gracefully.
I'm holding on.
So go ahead and make a bloodthirsty roll for me to just try to hang on there.
Yep. This yak will not get the best of me. That's 16 plus 5, so 21.
Absolutely, you're able to just kind of clamp down and hang on. What's everybody else up to?
I don't do rodeo. I'm going to try and tuck and roll. I'm jumping off this bad boy.
Okay, go ahead and make a defense roll for me, which is going to be bloodthirsty plus... D20 plus sneaky.
Sneaky. So that's a 16 plus 3, 19.
Okay.
I'm also going to tuck and roll.
Okay, same move.
10 plus 6, 16.
So 16, you have a little bit harder time of it, but you're able to just kind of barely land it as you come down on the ground hard. However, the yak seems more. There's like almost this sharp barb at the end of the piece of rebar that's kind of piercing through its front right shoulder. What do you do?
Oh my gosh. So it's kind of stuck there on this rebar. Is that those metal pipes sticking out of concrete?
Yep.
All right. I mean, usually back in my village, we when a yak gets hurt like this, we instantly kill it and throw a party. But no, I'm gonna try to like pry this rebar out of it, or maybe push the yak away from it, get it out somehow.
Okay. As you kind of, I mean, you can just yank it out if you want to. It's certainly gonna hurt the yak. But if your village's response is normally just to kill these creatures, I don't know that there's a lot of yak. It doesn't sound like there's a lot of yak healers who might have trained you or anything else like that.
No. We do not heal yaks.
Yeah, so you just kind of yank this rebar out, and again, it kind of rears up. And it starts to just like stomp around and kind of shift back and forth and slam. And you've seen a yak go into yak rage before, and it looks like it's on the verge of yakking out.
Oh.
How do you calm them down? We have to do something.
I have a potion of numbness. Splendid. I'll pull out my I don't know, a jar of clay or something.
Yeah.
A very primitive village, and I'll just try to get pour it down the yak's throats, so it doesn't feel any pain.
Awesome. We had Luz the Eye Wizard just hop into chat. Just a reminder, we did put one more add-on on the project, and that's a hand stenciled box made by them, and that got added in for all of our lieges, and there were a few extra copies also. So if you wanted to add that on, you can over on the campaign page. And you're sure you grabbed the potion of numbness and not the potion of fury by accident? Because the containers look so similar.
They do. Should I roll for that? Like a 50,
No, I'm not going to make you roll for it. You just unless you are unsure if your character would know the difference between those two. If you tell me you're unsure, I'll have you roll a luck roll. But otherwise, I think
maybe I'll taste it myself first, just to make sure I get the right one.
Sure,
just a little sip.
Sure. You taste it and your tongue goes a little numb. But I also just need you, Marcus, to talk with your tongue feeling numb for the next little bit.
Here you go. Oh yeah. Yeah, sorry.
Well, that should work.
Van, so Rondon John Van, go ahead and make a dodge roll as this thing slams to the side a little bit and almost hits you.
That is a 17 plus 6, 23.
Yeah, you kind of sense it coming as you feel the rubble shifting around you, and you slide out of the way.
Probably tuck and roll again.
Yeah.
You never know with yaks.
Marcus, if you're just going to try to lob this into its mouth or put it on its body, you're going to have to get close to that. Go ahead and roll initiative for me to see how easy it is for you to get close and do that.
4.
Okay. So you rolled. So you like are kind of watching it, and you get kind of a sense of when to act.
I would like to use my ability acrobatics to like do a little tumble, end up on my knees with my potion in my arm.
Okay. Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're right there. Like I said, are you feeding it to it, or are you trying to apply it to the wound?
No, I'm feeding it.
Okay. So yeah, you're able to kind of lob it into its mouth, Navi, go ahead and make a dodge roll for me. As it lodges into the mouth, this thing kind of kicks back with its hooves, and like you can see it like the feet coming at you.
Why wouldn't you warn me? You're supposed to tell me if your animal's going to kick me in the face. 13 plus 3 is 16.
Okay. So as you kind of nimbly dodge out of the way, its feet slam into the rebar behind you that you just came through, knocking it down even further. And after about 10 seconds, it starts to slow and shift and just collapse onto the ground.
I'll have what he's having.
Are we eating it? Should I heal it?
It's certainly taken a good bit of damage from this. It's a large yak, so it's not on death's door, but it's significantly injured, and it'll either need to be nursed back to health over time, or it'll need aid in doing it. It also may never stomp quite the same way again. Did you want to heal it?
It's Killen's pet. I was asking him, are we eating it, or should I heal it, or are you just going to make it walk like that?
I didn't really think this through. So
You'll know better next time.
We don't normally heal yaks, but it is a gift for Thrag, so
you wouldn't want to give him a
damage.
It's
a party.
Yeah.
How much more damage can we do? I'm sure we won't get hurt again. I'm going to heal it. So heal is level hits on one target, so that's going to be 4.
Yeah, you watch it nip back up. It's even like you see there's some like thorns and other stuff that were in its flesh that kind of like pop out around it. Like it's taken some scrapes on the way down here from the mountain, and it's this perfectly healed, immaculate example of a yak again. More hale than it's been in a while, and so. As you kind of finishing up, Walt, make a D6 roll for me.
3.
Awesome. You hear something kind of shifting a little ways down and around the corner. In the row of like spikes that you're in between.
I guess I pull out my crossbow.
Okay.
Just to be safe.
Yeah. You can go, like, you all crash through a wall. You can go left or right. if you want to try to drive the yak again, you can try to drive the yak again. It's a tight fit for that yak to get through, but it can get through.
Well, why are you pulling out your crossbow?
Why wouldn't I?
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
You're the warrior.
Yeah, but I mean, should we be worried about something?
Only Thrag's sense of humor.
All right. Okay, so the yak is healed.
Hold on, pause.
Oh.
What was a point, Van, when Thrag's particularly wicked sense of humor was first exposed to you when you were in the dungeons before?
Ooh, I think probably on that first delve. It's probably going to have something to do with whatever that was and whatever loot we came back with.
What loot was it? What did y'all go delving for?
Oh, I feel like it's a live monster of some kind that he wanted for his menagerie.
Live monster? Any particular kind?
I want to say skeleton butler.
Oh, yeah.
I love that in this version of Infinopolis there is a specific class of skeleton that is skeleton butlers that are naturally occurring also too. Like whatever necromancer makes them specifically as a servant class of creature. So it was to catch a skeleton butler. What wicked thing did kind of Thrag let you fall into on that adventure that showed you he had kind of a dark sense of humor?
I had to distract the lich that was employing the skeleton butler, and can we come back to me on the second part?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
We kind of see you like in front of this lich. We kind of flash back. We see you kind of having to dance around in front of it, and we'll find out what happened a little bit later. But yeah, so the sound came from your left, and so like you do know that there's something over that, but it's a little unclear having kind of burst through whether left or right leads you closer. What do y'all do?
I'm ready to shoot.
Yeah, if we're on high alert, I think I might try and sneak ahead and see if there's anything there.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, I take that back. I'm gonna push Bon Don John over there and tell him like you're the sneakiest of the sneaky, so you go first and I'll have your back.
But you'll heal me as good as you healed the yak, right?
I got you.
Okay. Then I'm guessing gonna kind of creep toward the left and see if I can reconnoiter the situation.
Okay. Yeah, so as you get around the corner, you can see that it looks like there's a figure in the distance kind of dancing back and forth, and then there's something standing between you and it with your back to it. It looks like a humanoid figure, but it has a big hood kind of pulled up over its head.
Moving at all?
It doesn't seem to be.
Can I throw a rock at it?
Sure.
Oh god, here's the part where me not hitting anything is going to come up. 18 plus nothing.
That's fine. Yeah. So you watch this rock sail through the air and hit the back of this thing. You see kind of that same chalky dust come off the outside of it as it hits it back, and all of a sudden it turns around.
Oh.
And you are staring dead-eyed with that lich that you encountered when you were first down to the dungeon. And on the other side, kind of dancing back and forth, is what looks almost like an identical effigy of you doing that same distracting move.
I'm tempted to shoot it out of spite. But I think I'll save the crossbow bolt.
Let's say that lich has started making its way towards you, though.
Oh, yak! I need your assistance.
What did you say, yak?
Yeah, I need the yak to stomp this thing for me.
Yes, I'll get up on it and try to steer it that way. Just full steam ahead.
Then I'm gonna run the opposite direction of the yak.
The yak is feeling good. Go ahead and roll a d6 for me to see how well you control the yak in this situation.
1 again.
Oh no! Oh no, my rat. My rat is still on that yak. Be careful.
The yak gets like backwards and starts like charging
no.
the opposite direction.
Then I run even harder in that direction.
Oh no! I'm just watching helplessly as this unfolds from the side.
Yeah. All of a sudden, around the corner, is you're watching Mercy. You see this lich-like figure that is coming around the corner. It's obviously made of that same chalky substance that was making up the swan-headed woman that you touched, but it actually seems to be billowing and articulate, as if the entire thing is living while being made out of concrete.
Oh, have we ever encountered anything like that might suggest what I'm looking at, or is this like one of those experiences where like this is wrong, very wrong?
You have plenty of experiences where things are wrong, very, very wrong. Having like, again, y'all have been adventuring for like most of your lives at this point in time. None of this is nothing particularly is new to you as far as you're familiar with horrid magics before. You tell me, have you encountered anything like this before? But also, I guess it's just, as players realize, anytime you tell me yes, I'm going to ask you what and where.
I think that this is a new one for me, but I'm under the impression that this must be some kind of very intricate prank, like a joke. So I'm gonna try warning it. Stay back, or I swear I'm gonna break you.
You see it kind of stop and take notice of you, and it almost sounds like you can't tell quite whether it's a laugh or a cough as dust kind of erupts from its throat, and it gives you a and it starts to lift a hand up towards you.
Oh no, I don't think so. I'm gonna hide. I'm gonna use my ability, and I'm hiding.
Oh, what are you hiding in?
I think that since it's all rows of these interesting figures, I just kind of slip into the rows and just find a really good big shadow and just kind of meld in there.
Awesome. So you kind of step to the side from the area y'all just crashed through that's hanging over and kind of slide back into the shadows. As you kind of disappear out of sight, it reorients itself back on Rondon John Van Zant. And starts to pursue him as the yak is kind of craning away. It's easy for Ron for you to outpace this thing. It's not moving quickly. Cilliam, you are significantly further ahead as this yak is kind of crashing back and forth. Again, it's kind of slamming around. It is knocking a lot of these spikes loose, but it's certainly hurting itself in the process.
I'm gonna kill this thing. I don't want to do that. I'll try to get off and I don't know, pull its mane or whatever. I don't even know if they have manes, but try to calm it down and lead it back towards the others.
Cool. So you're pulling on it and it's not reacting at all. Like as you slide off, like the hair rips out of its hand, and even as you watch as it's kind of careening ahead and it's hitting these things, it's not reacting to the pain at all at this point in time as it's getting injured.
Okay, because it drank the potion of numbness.
Well, I mean, I didn't feed it the potion of numbness.
No, I did. Okay, I'll just. Okay, I'm gonna start thinking about a new present, and I'll just like wave goodbye to the yak, like, farewell, old friend. I will tell your story.
Wait, is my rat getting away too?
Oh no.
Oh no, we can't go.
The rat
Where's the rat? Where is it? Is it?
It's hanging off of its horn unless it got shook off earlier.
Make a D6 roll for me. We'll see if it got shook off or not.
Okay. Oh no, it's a 1.
No, yeah, it's locked on there. You can see it off in the distance. Like we zoom in and we see that rat, and like it squeaks a whole lot, and then we see like in subtitle rat language like my mother warned me about this, and so
am I too far away to use a magic item?
Oh, I mean, it is a pretty decent way away, and you kind of stepped back. So I'm going to go ahead and say at this point, yes, unless you have a way to tremendously close that gap. And right now, that lich creature is about right level with you, right next to where you're shadowed out.
Oh no! So I'm watching my poor little rat get carried off by the raging yak, and there's like this lich thing next to me, and I'm like, oh. I'm going to use acrobatics, I think, in order to try and just get a good sprint, like vaulting over the tops of these statues to try and get close enough to stop the rat and hopefully not get eaten by a lich.
Cool. So you're gonna it's on like the second widest circle right now. You want to hop over the wall to get into the next level of spikes and try to cut across. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So you take, I mean, that thing's just, you wait till it goes right past you. You take off, you run over. Tell us what it looks like as you go over these walls. Is it fancy? Is it a vault? Is it a post? What are you doing?
Oh yeah, it's like circus level amazing. She's just like doing like vaults and flips and handstands, and then like pulls the scroll out as she's coming over the other side. And if it's close enough, I'm going to use my scroll of sleep and try and just put the yak down.
We'll come back to you in just 1 second. Walt, what have you been? What is Ron John Van Zant doing at this moment in time?
I think I'm gonna turn invisible. Am I close enough to turn invisible, get around behind it, and then stab it on my next turn?
Like I said, you were outdistancing it, yeah. And so this yak had taken off. Once you're around the corner, and you've had a little bit of time here to react. So you're able to get around the corner, turn invisible, and then kind of wait for it to come up a little bit while tracking back. Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, probably like actively circle around behind it since I can only be invisible for 2 rounds.
Perfect. Yeah. So yeah, you're able to get behind it, no problem.
All right. Should I go ahead and attack, or is it?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Wow, 18 again, +0.
Awesome. So you are you using the crossbow or what at this point in time?
Yeah, I've already got the crossbow out. Just go ahead and shoot it.
So where do you shoot it? How do you shoot it? Describe this scene to me so I can tell you what happens.
Ooh, aim for the head, I guess.
Okay.
Back of the head.
So you get right behind it, like it's invisible, and all of a sudden, like we see the indent of the press of your crossbow tip hit the back of its skull as the rest of you turns visible, and then all of a sudden, like your arrow erupts through the front of its where its skull would be. As it kind of pops out, all this dust crumbles out, and you can see this kind of metallic superstructure. That's the top like third of its body has now been emptied of whatever dust was filling it up. But the structure itself is starting to twist and turn towards you.
Oh no, this isn't good.
We'll come back to you in just 1 second. Marcus, what is Cillian up to now that the yak's run off?
Now that the what? I'm sorry?
The yak has run off?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna head back to the others. I'll pull out my bone hammer.
Okay.
And like pick up my pace and start jogging, sprinting eventually towards the rest of the gang.
So it takes you a second to get back. About the time that air, like you see a crossbow bolt, basically like you come around the corner, it shoots past you.
Sorry.
Right, going. I mean, it's a few feet clear. You've had to shoot way closer to Cillian in the past. Don't worry about it. And so, Mercy, yeah. So you charge ahead. Like you're using that your acrobatic ability to cover this rough ground very quickly. Like I said, it's kind of shaking back and forth. It's going fast, but if you're intentionally running, you're able to kind of close that distance and use that scroll. So what does the scroll do?
It's a scroll of sleep. I'm just trying to knock it out.
Cool. Yeah, so you use that scroll of sleep. You kind of speak these words. What does it look like as that magic goes off?
I think it's very kind of, what's that, big top show type thing where she reads the scroll. There's a big old poof of like fireworks from over the wall, and then the yak hopefully just falls over.
Awesome. Yeah, so we see these fireworks kind of like pop up, and you see the yak kind of go like, you like here go, oh, and then like it just collapses to the ground, like with a thud, kind of pushing out all of the spikes that are around its body on the far kind of back, like on the back third of the house, like it was just starting to round the corner behind the house, right as you see it kind of collapse down to the ground. Yeah. Let's hop back to Ron John Van Zant.
Call me Van. All my friends do.
I was just curious. You had it in hyphens, but I was just curious how long we could say Rondon John Van Zant before.
As long as you, until you get tired.
So as we hop back over to Van, what are you doing as this thing starts to like contort its torso back around towards you?
I yell that I need an adult, and then I drop my crossbow and go for my dagger.
You're able to drop that, whip it out real quick. Go ahead and make an initiative roll for me as you're doing that.
Sure. 4.
So you're able to get your dagger out, and you have time to act.
Well, I guess harsh language isn't going to do anything, so I'll try hitting it with the dagger.
Okay.
Oh, that's a 5.
Yeah, you kind of you hit it, but it kind of just scrapes along this metal superstructure. A little bit more of that dust comes out, but not a substantial amount. Thrag, you kind of come up behind as this thing is kind of almost twisted the top half of its torso around to face Van. It has its back towards you. Cillian?
Oh,
Markus.
sorry. I thought you said Thrag.
I did.
I'm gonna. I want to do like a leap in the air and come down with my hammer and just try to crush it.
Sure, make a bloodthirsty roll for me.
If it's okay with you, do I have to use acrobatics for this?
No, if you're just making a powerful leap through the air as part of your like a slam maneuver, I think that's all still bloodthirsty.
All right.
I'm assuming you're not trying to make it pretty. You're just trying to make it hurt.
Yeah. So 16 plus 5, that's 21.
And so you bring it down, and you kind of slam this thing, and you watch as the metal kind of bends underneath the power of your hammer, and dust kind of flies out in all directions. Can the two of you make a mystical save for me? So roll versus mystical.
Me and Van?
The two people who are near all the powder that just shot up in the air, yeah.
Oh, great.
3.
20 plus 2.
So you are able to you see Van kind of wipe all this powder off his face as we see Cillian hacking and coughing as it gets caught in all the fur around him, and he kind of just gets a snoot full of this powder. It's certainly not pleasant to breathe in at all. So,
Do I feel weird? Does anything happen to me?
You don't like it. But
I don't like it. No, not one bit.
No, I mean nothing immediately happens to you.
All right.
So,
guess I'm fine.
Kind of cough and hack, and it's super unpleasant. But yeah, you've been able to, Mercy, make the yak pass out. What do you want to do?
I think I walk over and I pull the rat cage off of its horn for safekeeping, tuck it on my belt, and that's about exactly when I hear I need an adult and realize that I'm alone. And so at that point, I kind of start hightailing it back in the direction of the guys.
Are you going back over, or are you running around?
Back over is probably the fastest way, yeah? I think I'll try to go back over the wall.
Okay. Are you using an ability, or do you just want to try to
I think I'm just going to try.
Back over? Yeah, go make a D20 plus sneaky roll for me.
14 plus 3, 17.
Yeah. It's not. I mean, it takes longer, right? It's definitely more effort, but you're able to get up and over without hurting yourself and kind of land squarely on the other side. As you see, like I said, there's Cillian. They're both kind of covered in this white powder.
Ooh. Oh no. That's probably super bad for you guys. Just yelling encouragement from across the yard.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Glad we've got a healer.
Yeah, I'm going to find a nice, comfortable place to kind of position myself where I'm not directly in the angry thing's ire, and I have line of sight on them.
Sure. I mean, the thing, it's been slammed to the ground. It's no longer acting or active. It's a scrap pile of metal on the ground, surrounded by an explosion of dust at this point in time.
Oh, in that case, good work, guys.
But yeah,
All in the day's work.
You have the yak tore off this way. You've got a dancing effigy of Van the other direction. Which way do y'all want to head?
I'll just go back to the yak and try to remove the horns to bring something. This will have to be my present.
What? No, he'll be fine. He just needs to sleep it off.
But look at him. He's bleeding. He's not going to last long.
A bit. Just Band-Aids. Just applying Band-Aids.
Big yak-sized Band-Aids.
You're able to like staunch some of the blood, but mostly it's just now just red bandages, you know. And it's a white furred yak, so it's the worst also too.
Oh, kill him. Do you still have that little cup you used to give it the potion?
I do, yeah. Why?
I'll pour the yak one last drink from my bottle.
Oh, okay.
All right, you give the yak a beverage.
Yeah, on his way out.
I mean, it's not in any sort of pain right now, you know. So that's the good news. And so,
I'll just put it out of its misery, I think.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
we'll go ahead and just establish that it's well documented that you know how to, as humanely as possible, slay a yak. And so you do that.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, it's out here. I mean, you made it most of the way there. So after you're done just celebrating the life of this yak and then ending its life, what do y'all do?
Anybody else want to drink to the yak?
Yeah, sure.
Not that numb stuff. No way.
No, this is different numb stuff.
Different kind of numb. Yeah, pour me some.
Yeah, pass the bottle around.
Navi, is y'all are pausing to take a drink here? Go ahead and roll a d6 for me.
Got it. 4.
4. As you are standing around, like you look ahead, you're taking in kind of the area. What's a memory that you have of the first time that you encountered Thrag's dark sense of humor?
I think it was a deliberate walking into a trap. He was fully aware that it was there, and it was just sort of one of those things where testing your newbie to see if they're going to notice. And she just kind of was like, "Oh, it must be safe because he said I can go this way," and she just fell through a trapdoor, just like forever.
Awesome. As you look ahead of you, you see a section of this rubble that you could swear looks exactly like that door.
This party's not going the way I thought it was going to go, guys.
Definitely not.
I think we should go around that. I'm having flashbacks. It's not good. It probably empties into a latrine. We have to go.
This is why we needed the yak.
I mean, we don't have the yak. We'll have to circle around it.
I mean, it doesn't cover up the entire way. You saw it's easy to circumvent as y'all step around this. Like as you get closer, it's made of that same kind of chalky white material as everything else, as the statues that you've seen so far. And it kind of in contrast to this kind of rubble that everything else is just kind of built in and around.
I'm just going to shout in defiance, "Not this time, Thrag!"
And when you shout that, you hear like a bump against the trap door.
I reload my crossbow.
Oh, I'll actually, I guess I'm not wearing it, but I want to pull out from my backpack made of squirrels, I don't know, my headband of true seeing, which makes me see through illusions. And I want to, I get the sense that this is some kind of illusion. So I want to put my headband on and look at this trapdoor.
So you look at the trapdoor, and it's not an illusion. I'm trying to think of what you would see that would be different. I think what you can easily see is it is. I think that's it. Like you can definitely see this is actually a trapdoor that has been modeled in the exact same style, and the lich that you saw earlier was the lich, looked exactly like you remembered the lich being. The version of you was fairly accurate also too. Like it's in the way that you remember any of your friends, which is not perfectly. However, the Lich itself seemed to be almost fully accurate, but it's also had, it was a far less articulate facial features because it's dried out husk of an individual. So but this is not an illusion in front of you.
All right. And we heard knocking from the inside.
Yeah, you heard a knock as you went by it.
A knock.
Kill him. You should go knock back with your hammer.
I should. I will. I'm gonna. I'll do it. I'll pull my hammer out and just smash with everything I have.
Yeah, I mean you have time to line that up. Like I mean you smash into it and you crinkles to the side. And down in the bottom, Navi, what was inside that pit when you hit the bottom of it? You felt that trapdoor.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with it was the latrine.
Yeah, so it was a latrine. So what you see is what looks like an effigy of Navi, in what just looks like the waste disposal line coming out of this estate. But it had reached up and was banging on the roof.
All right.
And as you wait a couple, as you kind of take that in, you wait a little bit, you watch its hand go again, and then if you wait a little bit longer, it goes again, right where that would have been.
Oh, you should put her out of her misery. This life isn't worth living.
But
Poor plaster. Me.
I look at Mercy. Should I hit it with my hammer?
A lot.
Okay, I will.
Send it to be with the yak.
I'll drive my hammer down into his skull.
And it collapses. You see that it doesn't there's nowhere near as much metal in this structure as there was in the Lich or in the trapdoor. It just kind of crumbles down into a fine powder. It looks like there's just one piece of rebar kind of holding it up.
This is so weird.
Yes,
I'll
it
just
is.
quietly, gently close the trapdoor and pretend I never opened it in the first place.
Sure. You got to loop your way back around to where Navi had been a second before that. When you had hopped over, you kind of get back to that same spot. You're looping again, and you see another, and you're passing statues on a fairly regular basis, and some of them move mildly. Right, you have some of these moments where it seems like something's about to happen, but they don't, and you recognize innkeepers and other folks from the past, kind of commonly setting into common modes. Common movements, and so you recognize some of these features, but none of them do anything especially particular unless you take time to interact with them.
I'm tiptoeing around these things.
Okay. So as you kind of make your way through, Thrag, what's the moment? Or sorry, I keep on doing that. Cillium, what's the moment that you first discovered Thrag's dark sense of humor?
It's kill him, actually.
Kill him, got it.
Kill him, kill him dead.
Right. Kill him dead, yeah. My first experience. This was actually when we got back to Infinitopolis, and he I don't know, he poisoned my food or something. I'm not sure. Not a deadly poison, just
never eat anything Thrag gives you. Never.
No. I've never eaten anything Thrag serves since then. But I guess I got sick all night, and he was sitting by me, stroking my hair, kind of comforting me and laughing at me at the same time. That's what I found really disturbing about it.
Awesome.
You either laugh or you comfort me. You don't do both.
So you kind of come around and you're coming to the end of this kind of last circuit around. This is amazing. All of a sudden you can you hear kind of that same coughing sound that you heard earlier. And you look up and there are a number of kilums like leaning over the edge of these spikes. There's 3 on each side that look like the top half of your body kind of perched up above the ground, and they're about set every 10 feet between you and kind of the exit of this maze. And there's one on either side, and they're about 20 feet away from you right now.
Are they moving?
The ones closest to you seem to like kind of be making that same kind of coughing noise that it's not as malevolent as the lich that had laughed earlier. For anybody who heard that, it didn't seem like an obvious evil attempt. It actually sounds almost pitiful, but it's a little bit of a coughing noise.
And how many did I see again?
There are 6 total, 3 on each side, set about 10 feet apart between you and the end of what looks like the end of the spikes.
I mean, I've had it with all these effigies. Would y'all mind stepping back for a while I down this potion of fury?
Step your way back. Oh no.
And I just want to go to town on all these 6 effigies. I want to pull my hammer out. I want to use acrobatics. I want to use cleave, all kinds of abilities to just make me smash all 6 of these.
Sure. So you down the potion of fury. Do we want fury? I mean, the easiest way to mod this is to make it work like rage, where you're gonna basically not be able to easily. You're gonna take extra attacks as you're doing this. Though you don't see any obvious mode of attack. So does that sound good?
Yep. That
Cool.
sounds good.
So you enter this like mode of fury. What does it look like as we watch you enter into this rage?
Some kind of anime effect, like lightning coming out from like my silhouette growing electric, and like
Awesome.
a comic book thing.
So we watch this kind of like this red lightning kind of start to surge around your body as you down this potion, and your eyes kind of become the irises of your eye disappear as we see electricity kind of dancing behind them. As you kind of run up and take your first swipe, as you get close to it, you notice that there's now liquid pouring out of the mouth of this first one.
Liquid? What kind of liquid? What color is it?
Oh, you can't tell. You're in a rage.
Oh, I'll hit it. Liquid or no liquid, I'll hit it.
Sure. So go ahead and you cleave into it. Make your attack roll for me.
A natural 20.
Awesome. Because of that, as you slam down on it and the liquid splatters all over, you like kind of cleave it away from you, so the liquid all kind of shoots off into the air over this row of spikes, and you can easily kind of you basically can backflip off, and as you're coming down, without spending another ability, you kind of enter into a moment of perfect acrobatics with that natural 20, and come down on the head of another one. Go ahead and make an attack roll for me.
That's a 13 in total.
Okay, go ahead and make a save roll for me against a bloodthirsty save roll.
14.
Okay.
5.
Okay. Again, you kind of splash the whatever liquid this is coming out of this thing's mouth away. As you finish this and you land on the ground, you're still in rage mode, but you do notice that the next 2 have started pouring out some sort of like almost bile-like liquid out of their mouth.
Watch out for that.
I will not. I'm raging.
This is why he goes first.
I have full confidence in the group's healer.
Okay.
I can't heal vomit.
But you can heal a yak.
I'll keep going. I want to hit the next one.
Okay. So you're able to close that distance quickly and hit the next one. Go ahead and roll your attack roll for me.
8. 3 + 5.
You kind of like slam into it, like as you're like pulling yourself up to hit it, like you kind of overjudge the distance and you come down on the far side of it. But you also put yourself right next to it. Go ahead and make a D20 save roll for me again.
A bloodthirsty save?
Yep.
Oh, a natural 1.
Awesome. So you get covered by this bile and you're going to slip and fall down as it just starts pouring onto you from above.
Slimed me.
You end up feeling some of it go into your mouth, and it takes you back immediately to that same moment in the tavern as Thrag is stroking your hair and you're pouring your guts out, and all of a sudden you feel the exact same need to just start heaving all over the ground.
Oh no!
And so now the other ones of you see he had this beautiful move, like cleaves through one, kicks off backflips, comes down, like you watch his hand as he goes hand over hand, brings the hammer down on the other one, runs up to hit the other one, misjudges, slips, goes over it, falls down into this pile of golden bile, and it starts just like pouring into his mouth. He gets up and he just starts heaving all over the ground. What are y'all doing?
Can't win them all.
No. Should we help?
He's fine. He loves stuff like this.
I'm not fine.
Okay. Initiative.
Okay.
You want to go first? You can go first if you want.
These things don't move, so you have initiative. Like they are exactly what they seem to be for the most part.
Use the rat.
No. Oh no! The rat will drown. I think I'm gonna just run up with my thumping stick and try and like break one. Like I want to clear them out of the way before I try and jump in and help.
Okay. So the one that's kind of pouring bile down on him while he's vomiting also too. It like as you get closer, you get that acrid smell of vomit and powdered fungoid, which is what he slipped a little bit of into his Thrag slipped some of into Killam's meal that night. You get that strong aroma of earthy mushrooms mixed with vomit. Go ahead and make your bloodthirsty roll for me.
Oh, this is awful. Oh no, I got a 9 plus 1. That's a 10.
Like you go to, and again, like they're kind of high up there. You don't get quite the reach because you have to stay back a little bit to stay away from that vomit.
Okay, that could have gone worse. I need someone taller. Help. Give me a boost. I can't make it stop.
I'm just going to shoot it.
Sure, go ahead and make your bloodthirsty roll for me.
Ooh, that's another 5 plus nothing.
Yeah, I mean these things they're high up there. You watch an arrow just kind of cleave like almost through the line of vomit. Like you see it cut through it for a moment right below its mouth. But yeah, I mean again, it seems like these things are just starting to pour more and more of this bile into this space. These middle two have activated. It's starting to almost create a trench of vomit in the middle, and it just keeps on coming and coming and coming. And like Thrag is in the middle of all that, just on the ground.
Oh no.
Thrag, you are if you want to try to act, you can. You're just going to need to you're just going to need to take a negative to any roll that you make when you're doing this. So,
Right.
I'm going to bless him as he's getting ready to do something. Like we'd been adventuring for a long time. I can tell he's going to try and get out of this situation. So I'm just going to like reach out and bless him. So he's going to get a +4 on his next roll.
Okay.
Oh, so that will be a +2 then.
Yes.
Okay, I'll try to stand up and just walk away. Like defying
towards
this
the exit or back
bile.
from where you came.
Back towards where I came from, I think.
Okay.
Just whatever way I'm facing. I'm not worried about direction right now.
Sure.
So is that a bloodthirsty roll, I guess?
I mean, if you're just trying to walk away, just give me a luck roll.
Okay.
And I'll modify the bless to account for that.
So that's a 3.
Yeah, you're able to start dragging yourself out of this giant puddle of vomit that's been filling this kind of low-lying area that you're in. The other two of you, go ahead and make a save roll for me, a bloodthirsty save. Actually, no, sorry. Walt, your character didn't move forward. You don't need to make this save.
That's a 18 plus 1, 19.
You're great. And so you're able to kind of like dodge, like you're not like you can see it kind of starting to pool up below you, but you're not having to worry about it yet.
Yeah, I was avoiding that like plague. Just stay back.
I wanna. Yeah, I don't have anything more to puke up. I just wanna like
You
try
just
to clean
you're
myself
dry
off.
heaving.
Yeah, I wanna try to clean myself off, and I would like to use my ability divination.
Okay.
And I like when I've cleaned myself off a bit, I want to pull out my bag of bones, throw them on the ground, say some words in the ancient language from the mountains, and ask the great yakety yak god in the skies, like, what is going on here? What are these things? What is happening?
Yakety yak god. Yeah, what is it like when the yakety yak god talks to you? Is it I mean, how does that manifest? And I'll give you an answer, but I just want to know.
It's a very deep, booming voice in your guts. Your whole diaphragm. I think the yak actually talks through you. Yeah.
Oh, like it almost bellows out of your mouth.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. So you asked that question. You hear.
It was a booming voice, mind you.
Tony.
And I don't even know how to make my voice boom more. That's the interesting thing. An unfriendly welcome from an old friend. It seems as if they want you to walk down memory lane a bit.
Oh.
But this is Vomit Lane. Which one is Memory Lane? I'll take that one.
We must have took a wrong turn somewhere. Okay. Well, Thrag has some explaining to do when we finally arrive.
So hear me out. We pole vault over the pool of vomit.
Mhm.
Who brought a
Excellent.
pole?
Yeah,
10-foot
right.
pole, anybody?
I
don't
not
have
bring
one.
a pole. Me neither.
Mm-mm.
I will say, given the description that I have made of this place generally, your ability to find a pole of some sort is not in any way, shape, or form limited.
Yeah, until the pole like starts vomiting on us or something. Do we really want to take that chance?
Yeah, I guess we'll have to take that chance.
All right, who wants to go first?
Not me.
Not me either.
I will
Oh.
say this from like there's this one trough in front of you, really where you are at with your roll, Mercy. You could just be on the other side of it. Like you did a roll to move past this. I mean, like if you had landed on the other side of it, we can go ahead and say you're there. That doesn't bother me at all. I think from a fictional positioning standpoint that makes sense. So Thrag dragged himself back, and Van never went forward, so they have to cross over it. Though it is slowly expanding and kind of pushing you a little bit forward, Mercy, and there is another set of these that you hear starting to cough behind you.
Oh God.
There's more. Hurry.
Oh my god. I'll use another acrobatics.
Okay.
And just leap over.
Yeah, so you kind of pull it all together for a second and use you leap over the top of this, and it's not as pretty as it would normally be, but you manage to easily make it.
I guess I'll do the same.
Okay. And then as you all three land on the other side and you're kind of crowded there, you hear again this coughing behind you, and then you hear the sound of liquid starting to hit the ground.
Run.
Yep.
You move forward quickly, and you're able to get past.
Jacket over the
you
head.
see like this rivulet start to kind of form in behind you. Like you still don't feel good. Like you're still like you can't throw up anymore. But there are times where you're not sure if it's a little bit of the yak god booming out. Or if it's just another dry heave, but it's sporadically you'll find yourself like bent over for a moment, and so But you find yourself kind of in the front now of this large shamble of an estate. There's a scaffolding coming up one side. You've got part of the other side that looks like it's being torn down in the process. Paint is peeling off everywhere. You can see into a number of the rooms on both the first and second floor for this massive and expansive estate. There's 2 doors in front of you. It looks like one of them is an old, like, solid piece of stone. And the other one is a peeling and chipped piece of wood that seemed to have been kind of laid against the front entry point for this. There's an empty fountain that has just pooled water in the bottom that is turned old and fetid and is filled with moss. You can see like what almost looks like small stone frogs hopping around in it.
How cute.
Don't trust them.
No.
They'll explode or something. I don't know.
Who's gonna open the door?
Kill him. You should go knock down the stone one.
The stone. Wait. What are we seeing again? Stone door.
Stone door, wood door, old fountain in front of you. You can see like of all of the effigies you've seen so far, at the top of that fountain is a bust of Thrag's head that's just like grinning and mugging at you. With the biggest smile.
I'd definitely shoot it.
Wait, I put my hand on as you reach for the crossbow, I put my hand out and just, do not give him the satisfaction.
I missed anyway.
Okay.
It's because he put his hand out, it like shoots off into the distance. But yeah, you see a stone door, a wood door, scaffolding on one side, exposed rooms on the upper side, some windows in, some windows out. Nothing particularly matches. It's like a hodgepodge of a million different like hovels that have been formed into the idea of an estate. It seems like
the idea of an estate. I love that. I'll walk up to which one should I? Stone door, wood door? What do you think?
I have a die. We can roll.
She does have dice.
Do it.
All right.
Let me check your character sheet just to make. I'm just kidding. How dare you?
Okay. Low we go wood. High we go stone. We're going stone.
Good choice.
Cool.
Dice.
I'll walk up and with my hammer, I'll knock loudly 3 times, as menacing as I can.
Ooh. So you like go, you go hammer, knock, knock, knock. On the third knock, the entire stone door just kind of falls and plummets inward. You hear this crash and clatter as you crush what, like, all you see sticking out is a bony hand from underneath this stone door, and it's kind of wriggling around like this.
Bony, like a skeleton hand?
Like a skeleton's hand, yeah.
Like
Frag, you look terrible.
Hand.
Was that the butler?
Yeah, what was the butler's name that y'all had retrieved with Thrag?
He decided to call him Gherkin.
Yeah, so you see what looks like Gherkin's hand, like
Poor Gherkin.
like flailing around, and like it pops itself up and like walks over to you and like bows.
I believe we are expected.
Where is your master?
And he's like and like it pops up on the other 2 fingers and like tries to point. He's pointing off to the side. There looks like there's a doorway. So as you step in, you can see there's this big expansive second level with this large rising set of split staircases that goes up to it. You can see there's a few rooms up top. It looks like there may be more off to the sides, but you can't quite tell. There's a doorway on either side of you as you come in, and again, like he's pointing at a very long doorway off to your right. In the middle of this, you see this giant pillar of heads that seems to be like almost moving, swelling, pulsing. It's made out of the same gray, chalky material. And you can see like as it moves around these rebar structures, but these faces of different philosophers are manifesting themselves, arguing with each other sometimes. Like you can hear this dim kind of rolling conversation and then being like pulled back in as they lose conversations. And then another head will move out.
Wow.
Damn.
And the butler is pointing us.
Yeah, he's pointing you to this room off to the like again. There's rooms on either side of you from where you came in this kind of open entryway. Then on the far wall up to the right, there's 2 doors. One kind of towards the front, another one fairly equally back, almost even with the staircase that's towards the back of it. That is, but he seems to be motioning to the one that's up front. There's also a set of 3 doors on the other side, as well as the staircase going up.
Yeah. I just want to meet Thrag right now. So
I'm not sure I want to meet Thrag right now.
What did we do to make him angry recently? Like, how mad is he at us right now? I don't remember.
I think this is this idea of a joke. Like, bad doesn't really begin to cover it, but Thrag does. It's a Thrag joke.
I guess it is, yeah.
Does that mean we shouldn't go the way the butler's pointing?
I don't know. I just want to open the closest door to see what's in there.
So again, there's a door on either side of you. Back there. Do you want to open the door? Like, you want to open one of those doors?
Yeah, the one to the left.
One to the left. So you go the kind of the opposite direction of where the hand said. It's like running up and trying to like grab your leg, but when it does, it just kind of gets dragged along behind you. So you open up this door and you can kind of look out at the area you just came. There's a set of beds in here. And it looks like there's a set of these kind of rebar structures laying down in them. Next to each one, there's a pile of dust on the ground.
Back away slowly.
Yep. Back away slowly and close the door quietly.
I have my crossbow loaded. I can't emphasize that enough.
What's your level in sneaky, Thrag?
You mean me? Kill him?
Sorry, kill him. Yeah, sorry. For anyone who's wondering why it's so hard for me, Thrag's a name I use a lot, and Markus took over my character Thrag for 3 or 4 weeks at one point in time, and so it's why I keep on fighting to calling him that. So kill him. What's your level in sneaky?
2.
2.
Dos.
Go ahead and make a D6 roll for me.
That's a 6.
All right. Yeah, you open it up, you see that, and then you like close it back. Holding the door up a little bit and like turning the thing just to make sure it doesn't make any noise and step back out.
No. Mercy, you want to try the other door?
Why me?
Because I did this one and he's holding the crossbow.
Okay.
Before anybody does anything else, is there a good shadowy spot for me to hide in here?
Yeah, it's pretty dark in here. It's late in the day at this point in time. There's no internal lights that have been lit, and so there's tons of spaces with really long shadows that wouldn't necessarily hide somebody normally, but if you wanted to intentionally secret yourself away, it'd be not too challenging for you to do.
Yeah, I think I'm going to use the hide ability and just become completely invisible and maybe be able to get a sneak attack off if it becomes necessary.
Sure.
All right, I'm waiting for him to hide, and then I'm going to reach out and kind of give the door a little bit of a twist and pull slow as I can, try not to make any noise.
So as you kind of open up the door, you have, what's your level in sneaky?
3.
3. So you open up the door without, and I make a lot of noise. You do just fine. As you open up, you see that this looks like it's a sitting room. The furniture in here is kind of ramshackle and makeshift. Like there's a couple of pieces that look like they used to be nice, mixed with what looks like pallet furniture, like things that have just been laid down and had blankets thrown over them. There's a fireplace going in one corner, but in the far side of the room, you also see what looks like a a large spider web kind of covering one of the corners. And in the middle of it, you see what looks like an older adolescent woolly spider. It's not to imply sentience, just to imply you've seen enough of these things to know about the gestial process and about how old it is. So old enough to be a threat, not so old that it's a full-grown one.
Kill him? What do woolly spiders eat?
Whatever fits in their mouth.
Well, I opened the door. I didn't say I'd go in.
Is there a spider in there?
It's very large.
Yeah, let's just back out.
Gherkin, what is this?
Gherkin's like doing trying to do like jumps, pointing back towards the other room.
Yeah, let's follow Gherkin.
So we're going to this room seems to take up the entire length of there's a 50-foot long table that has been set in here. Contrary to almost everything else, this table is in immaculate repair. It looks like it's fairly regularly used. And you actually recognize it as at one point in time, Thrag got an expanding table on one of your adventures that would just be able to lengthen to whatever length you desired to, and then kind of push back together to the size of essentially a sawhorse that could be easily moved around. And it looks like this may be that very same table. And there's a chair at one end, and then 3 chairs at the completely opposite 50 foot away, and each of which have a plate that is set, like a setting in front of it. And there's a warm fire flickering in the past. The rest of the room is absolutely horrendous, just like everything else. As far as you see some shattered windows in the background. You see this one up close is stained glass of one of the local gods in Infinitopolis, but like a lot of the pieces are missing, like and kind of chipped off and peeled off. But the table itself and all the things set on it seem to be the finest dining ware. And on each one is set a meal. What's the best meal each of you ever had with Thrag that he didn't poison?
Before the poisoning.
Yeah. Like, what are you? Venison, is that deer?
It's
meat?
deer, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah, he procured some exotic spices, and he actually cooked this himself. Venison with roasted potatoes.
Awesome. So yeah, you see like there's a plate set with that meal on it. What about for Van?
Ooh, lamb chops in a mushroom and red wine sauce with herb butter.
Awesome. And you see that plate set as well. What about for Mercy?
I'm gonna go with a like clam and mussel dish. We were on the coast one time, and it was pretty good.
You like I said, you see all of this set for you. You you watch as Gherkin like goes and like climbs up a chair leg, climbs up like onto the seat, like has to like hop and work its way up. And then,
Somebody
like,
give this guy a hand.
spreads itself out like open palm on the table, as if to indicate like this is for you. Like it's the only way you could figure out how to hand flourish.
I'm concerned and I'm skeptical. I'll sit down. I'll sit down first. I'll take that hill for you guys.
The chair is
carefully.
uncomfortable. It is not a comfortable chair. It did not come with the table. It is fully functional and it is not a trap though. So it's not a mimic.
Checking the floor, making sure there's no like openings.
Yeah, no,
I'll sit down
as
as well.
you look around and kind of check things out, the floor, I mean, it looks all uneven, but certainly none of the powder traps, like that chalky substance, you don't see any of that. And it doesn't look like any other sort of trap around you.
Looks safe.
Yeah, I just check all the corners for spider webs, and unless I find any, I'll sit down.
Yeah, no, like no spider webs. As far as you can tell, it's just a nice meal prepared. Like Gherkin is like looking like he's trying to his best to signal things to you, but failing abjectly at trying to communicate anything of any semblance to a normal person. Like is trying to communicate very complex ideas. Like you get a sense of like patience or time or something like that, but nothing else is really communicated.
I give him a little high five for the effort. Way to be, Gherkin.
Flips up and flops on your hand and then like rolls over.
I'm taking this guy with me when we go.
And so, yeah, but time kind of stretches out in the evening. Like the goblets seem to be kind of filling themselves back up with your beverage of choice as you empty them. But the meal is kind of finished. As it does, Gherkin like starts like signaling this way to you.
Mm-hmm. Like further in the estate or back where we came from?
Like just like all you can do right now is like out the far door. Like you came in, there's another door further down on the other end. He's motioning towards that.
Okay, Gherkin. Tap once for yes and twice for no. Is Thrag in that direction?
Once for yes and twice for no, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how to where's my tapping?
You can. Okay. Tap once for yes and twice for no. Where is Thrag? Good job, Gherkin.
But yeah, he's trying to like motioning out the far end.
Hold on.
Well,
Guys, I'm going to phone a friend. I'm going to use divination.
Okay.
I'm going to look at Gherkin and be like, okay, I'm going to need you to explain in great detail where Thrag is. And then I'm calling up my god and like, I need a translator. My one question is, what is this hand telling us?
How does your god communicate with you?
Oh no, I picked the worst god. So I think that it's
Because for anybody who's tuned in late, tell us what the name of your god is.
It's the god of sneaky, underhanded bullshit. So no, I think that it's it'll take a different form each time it appears, and so it's kind of weird. Like the room kind of gets dark, and like there's things skittering in the corners of the room, and it's very, very kind of ominous. And then like this time it's like a snake slithers out and starts just having a casual conversation.
Yeah, so that's what happens. We see like the light in the fireplace gets darker, the shadows kind of pull in a little bit deeper. You hear this skittering in the noise. It sounds, oh my gosh, so much like a woolly spider that you don't even want to deal with it. You don't want to think about it. And all of a sudden, like around the edge of this table slithers up this snake. It's like, hey. What did you need?
I need to know what Gherkin is trying to tell us.
Oh, there's some beds ready upstairs for you.
Oh, hell no.
Gherkin, I specifically said, where is Thrag?
Gherkin's just like...
Oh no. Yeah, no, I only get to ask one question.
That's true. I mean, you could use another charge of divination to ask another question.
I don't trust Gherkin. I don't trust Gherkin at this point. I'm angry at Gherkin, so
Gherkin is
I'm gonna high five Gherkin a little extra hard.
Yeah, Gherkin has no reason to be upset with y'all, though. That's for sure.
Oh no.
Well,
that's all I had. Are we going to bed?
That's it. All right. Good. I'll see you later. And then like slithers down, like lights roar back up.
Yeah. I mean, we could go around opening doors at random, but
we could.
Was the meal good? By the way,
It was excellent. I mean, it was as good, if not better, than you remembered it being.
Oh,
We're dead.
yeah. Nah. Let's hit the hay, shall we? Maybe Thrag will show up in the morning.
This is a really long party. With like no one else here.
I mean,
We could have stayed in the city and done this.
There was
Yep.
the assumption based on coming and the time of day that this would probably be an overnight event.
Mm.
This is not entirely surprising. Thrag not being there to greet you and all that's a little. I mean, it's not off-brand, but it's weird. And so now you guys, as you go up, like the stairs kind of split around this this giant philosopher statue. Do you sorry, you go up the left side or the right side?
Left
Or do you
side.
just follow the Gherkin hand?
But make Gherkin walk first.
Yeah,
Like-
that's a good idea.
Yeah, like Gherkin like hops up on not the rail, but the part of the thing below the rail, and it's just like cruising up the slant because he can't get up from step to step very easily anymore. So he's just kind of like walking up the side. These stairs are old. There are holes in them. There are loose boards. There are nails that are exposed. It's, I mean, you can kind of see a pathway up.
Kind of being the operative term there.
Mhm.
Oh boy.
I'll just try to slowly navigate my way up.
God, if only we had the yak.
So are you just trying to wind your way up the best you can?
Yeah.
Each of you make a D6 roll for me. You want to tell me anything you're doing to make your pathway up more secure? Could be taking your time. It could be an ability. And also, everybody let me know what your sneaky level is when you make your roll.
2 plus 3. Or 2 and sneaky 3.
Okay.
How's the... Go ahead, Marcus.
No, I'm just.
And I'm walking firmly in like Killam's steps. As he leaves a step, I'm like, that looks safe, and I step where he was before.
So
Yeah,
Killam's going first.
And I guess I am. And is Gherkin like in front of me?
Gherkin's on the rail on the side. Like he's on the
Yeah.
lower part where there's like slats that would go up to the banister. He's on the base of the banister, like walking up, not on the steps.
All right. I'll just take my time. I'll do this slowly.
Okay.
I rolled a 5 and I have sneaky 2.
Yeah, that's excellent. So you're taking your time.
Yep.
You're able to kind of navigate around. You see like a couple times wood falls off down below you and clatters to the ground, but you make it up. You're going after Killam. Mercy. What did you roll?
I rolled a 2.
Awesome. So you
Oh, no.
get halfway up, and all of a sudden, like you have a leg that like cuts through the ground. You don't like it like you basically like you step where Killam stepped, but it seems like he may have like weakened that spot a little bit when he stepped there. You have a leg that goes through. You are gonna unless you have an ability, you're just gonna take a hit of damage, like as it kind of sticks into your like as you catch a nail as it scrapes down.
Yeah, I'll take the hit, and I just kind of like grab onto the banister, and I just start wailing. Ah, they've killed me! And then it's not that bad. I'm like, oh right.
Awesome.
Right,
And then Walt, I feel like you were going to ask a question. Did Van want to know something?
Yeah. What's the condition of the banister? Is it decent?
It looks like the base of it looks like it's the most secure part of this going up. Like where he's walking, the actual railing itself, not much better. Like you can see that there's spots where it looks like it's fairly secure, but there are definitely breaks in it, like halfway up that just kind of fall out into the middle of this giant. Let's just say, so as you make your way up, you hear like the unexamined life is not worth living. I think therefore I am. To be is to be perceived. Like as these faces come in and out.
Does the banister look like it's safer than the stairs at this point? Now that Mercy has fallen through one of them.
If you don't put your weight on it at any point in time, you're probably fine.
Okay, that was my plan, was to kind of tightrope up it, but that would involve putting my weight on it. So I guess I will just follow Killam and Mercy once she's unstuck up the stairs.
I mean, you could certainly try to take the route of going up as close to it as possible and using it where it's secure as a route up. I mean, that is an option.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
I'll follow Gherkin instead of Killam.
Sure. Go ahead and make your D6 roll for me.
And am I adding sneaky to this or just the D6?
Oh, just tell me what it is and tell me what your sneaky is.
My sneaky is 6 and my roll.
Oh, never mind. You make it up. No, you're fine.
Okay. My roll was also 6, so yeah.
Yeah, you're 100. It's with a 6 sneaky. Yeah, you make it up, no problem. And so, as a matter of fact, like you like there is a point at which you like are about to like put your hand on the banister, and then you like look at it again, and you just like slap it, and it like tumbles into like the thing, and like you hear like liberty consists of and this thing like spits out the banister that you've like dropped into its face.
Stare not too long into the abyss, bro, and I keep walking.
You hear from behind you, "That's my line." So
not anymore.
And so you get to the top, and you see that there's what looks like double doors to a master bedroom right in front of you. And you see that there's 2 doors on either side, and then like of that, like spaced out, so 4 doors along the top total, 2 in the middle. There's a double door, 2 other ones about equal space down slightly closer to the ends. And then there's a door on either side that you're not entirely sure where they go. And then on the very far back end where this wraps around, there's another set of doors that go out back towards the front as well. So you've got 8 doors all told.
What's our lighting situation like?
It's pretty dark up here. Like it is unless you provide your own light, it's actually getting very difficult to see, especially now that you're out of the open light of the broken spots that kind of serve as skylights.
I've got a lantern we could light up. Don't have any extra oil for it.
Oh no.
I'll like tap Gherkin with my boot and just where to.
And like Gherkin like is making his way around holes in the ground up here. You as for the most part, like the areas he's walking through, things stable. The holes are fairly far apart. They're easy to avoid for all of you. And he like comes up and he like raps on a door, like one of the far doors down.
I'll walk over there carefully and open it, I guess. Yeah.
I'll cover you from the top of the stairs.
Thank you.
You can see there's a bedroom inside that like looks like it's fairly cozy, other than the giant section of wall that's missing.
Yeah, of course. All right, I guess this is my pad for the evening.
As you look in, you see there's actually there's 2 beds in this one, and he points at both of you.
Points
I'm
at
not
who?
sleeping alone in this house. Are you mad? I go bolting for the extra bed.
You can take Gherkin with you if you want.
That's on you.
Oh.
Gherkin like gives you the equivalent of like a shrug, and then like starts to walk away.
I'll just wave goodbye to both Van and Gherkin. Like, all right, be safe.
I've
Have a
got
nice
this crossbow.
So the bed looks cozy, right? Is the okay.
Yeah, both beds in this room look cozy. I mean, there's certainly enough room in here for 3 people to stay in the same room. There's just only 2 beds.
You guys can totally bunk up. It'll be a bonding exercise.
I'm kind of curious to see what the other room would look like in this place. That was reserved for us, presumably.
Was there another room?
I figured like Gherkin was going to lead one of us somewhere else.
Well, go
I
check
don't
that
know.
out. If it looks better, you call us over there.
Will do. I'm taking the lantern.
Sure. Which of the other rooms are you going towards?
Oh, what's Gherkin doing?
He was headed back downstairs now.
Interesting. I kind of want to go follow him now.
I mean, you as you watch him kind of slide down he goes zoop down the railing, like he walks over to the stone door, like kind of like, then like just flops on the ground.
All right. I guess I don't know. Let's not split the party. I'll just grab some floor in the room with you guys.
Yeah. I mean, everybody make a D6 for me.
I knew this bed was gonna suck. 5.
5 also.
Yeah, the night passes fairly. Like there's a couple points at which like the it gets a little cold up here, but it's just you wake up. It's chilly. Roll over, bundle up, go back to bed. You kill him when you wake up in the morning.
Mhm.
There's a fine coat of like white powder covering your body. You like thought you got all that powder off yesterday.
Yeah.
But like you like shake out and tons more of it just comes out of your fur.
I'll like freeze up totally still and look around if there's anything moving in the room.
You don't see anything.
I'll slowly and quietly try to wake up if I can reach Mercy. Like just, hey, wake up.
Yeah, no, I'll. Do I have anything on me, or is it just him?
Let's just kill him.
Oh, is there anything in the room that like immediately looking around,
There's
trying to figure
dust
out where it
on
came
most things in this place, but but the room doesn't look particularly dusty in any, like there's little piles here or there, but nothing that looks the same as what's on him.
Oh no, yeah, no, I'm just gonna lean over and be like, I don't want to know what was standing over you all night. I'm really glad I was asleep.
I'll just stand up and like do that thing that a dog does when it's wet.
Shake off.
Yeah.
Yeah. As you do, like again, more powder flies up in the air. Hey, will Van and Mercy go ahead and make a save for me versus mystical?
Oh no. Oh no. 3 + 0.
7 + 2.
You both catch some of this dust in your mouth.
Oh,
You start
sorry.
like coughing. It's not pleasant.
No.
Sorry.
No, I imagine it's not. Wipe my tongue off.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
But yeah, you after a couple of like after like 20 seconds, most of the dust kind of settles down to the ground. But now the room is like coated in it.
All right, time for breakfast.
Yeah. I don't want to stay in here. I'll grab everything I have and just walk outside.
So as you kind of get out, in the light of the morning, like you can kind of see like a little bit better that the other side of the steps is probably a little bit more stable.
Gherkin.
It's still a little bit of a chore to get down, but if you take your time, it's not that much. It is also part of it's like you're going down and not up, and that's a little bit easier. Again, you're getting kind of assaulted by like numerous like of these voices as they come out of the statue in the middle of the room and just kind of spout off different philosophical statements, sporadically.
Do we see Gherkin anywhere?
He's laying up near the front in that same position.
Poor Gherkin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna head down the stairs. I'll be careful, but in the light of day and seeing the stairs look a little bit more repaired, I'm probably going to be a little bit less careful than I was going up the stairs.
Oh, you're gonna be less careful. Go ahead and make a roll for me then.
It's morning and I'm happy and there's going to be food. Come on, guys. It's great. Oh, 4.
So you make your way down about halfway, but again, like you're coming down, like you're like kind of like jauntily moving down, and those of you at the top of the steps can just like watch every time Mercy steps off of one of these steps, like chunks of wood fall down. Yeah, you make it down to the bottom.
I should have gone first.
Oh, since we slept through the night, are all our ability uses refreshed?
It is a new day.
Oh.
I'll use acrobatics and just jump down.
Jump down near the statue. Jump down, like work your way down the steps. Where are you jumping? How are you jumping?
Like, can I jump onto the statue and slide down it?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm going to climb down the statue.
You guys are paranoid. I made it down just fine. This is ridiculous.
No, that was not just fine.
As you jump
lucky.
into the statue,
Yeah.
You hit it. Do you both jump at the same time?
No, I'm going to let him go first. It was his idea, so it would be rude if I, cut
As
in
you
line.
hit the statue, you from exteriorly, what you all see is all of a sudden a poof of white. As
brutal.
this chalk-like substance goes everywhere, and all of a sudden, Killam, you find yourself plummeting through what feels like liquid sand, and you hear hundreds of voices trying to talk into your mind at the same time. You also can't breathe. Everybody else, you see him poof in and disappear into this giant statue in the middle.
Oh, no.
So, breakfast?
We can't leave him in the statue.
What, am I stuck in there?
It is like thick, like it's like trying to swim through quicksand is what it feels like. So,
Oh my god.
you also have no way, like, I don't know if anybody's ever familiar with being lost in snow. Like, it's hard to orient yourself. Like, you know what way you were facing when you came up, but you can feel as these heads and stuff shift around you. You can feel them moving your body. If you want to try to stay oriented, go ahead and make, actually, what I'm going to have you do, I'm going to take lessons from Low Life, which is a resource by Sam Sorensen. Roll a D20 for me. And I need to know how it compares to every stat you have. So you can tell me what it is, but you can tell me how it is on your 4 stats, and I'll tell you specifically what's happening to you across the board.
All right. So I rolled a 16,
Okay.
and I have Bloodthirsty 5, Sneaky 2, Holy 1, and Mystical 0.
Sure. So you are very quickly kind of disoriented, but you're able to kind of like move yourself through this pretty, like, very, very well. Like, you're able to maintain your physical faculties while having no direction, like, idea about what way you are oriented in the middle of this. And so you are struggling, like, by just not knowing where you are headed. You can't make your way out. But again, the other major factor is there are all these voices, like, crying out to you at the same time, and it sounds like they're all trying to have conversations with you. What was your holy roll?
1.
1, so it's +1. So you also hear a familiar voice trying to yell over the top of that also too. What's everybody on the outside doing right now?
Mercy, grab something, a long stick, piece of wood, plank.
Where are we going?
We're going to stab that statue and try to get his ass out. Now I'm going to vault my way down the stairs, not climbing the statue, using acrobatics to get down the stairs as quick as I can. Ooh, that's a 19 + 6.
Well, if you used acrobatics, you're down. You're good.
Oh yeah.
And so, but very impressive also too. So you make your way to the bottom very quickly, like hopping off rail to rail, basically. You get down there. Mercy, you look around. As distorted as this place is, the best option you have if you want a piece of wood is to tear something off of something. So you can rip up a floorboard, take a piece of the banister. What do you want to do?
Oh no, I come prepared. I got my thumping stick.
I got your thumping stick.
I got my thumping
that's
stick.
right.
That's my weapon.
Yeah. So you've got your thumping stick. What do you want to do with it?
I'm gonna default to my usual, where I like menace the statue first and give it fair warning. You spit my friend back out right now, or we're gonna have words. by words, I mean I'm gonna hit you a lot.
There is only one good, knowledge, and there is only one evil, ignorance. You are displaying ignorance, says the face that's popped out in front of you.
You're not going to be displaying any teeth if you don't give my friend back.
Oh.
I don't know where your friend is. Thrag, go ahead and mark off one hit point for me. This is going to be temporary, but go ahead and mark a hit point off for me.
Yep. Done.
Is this anything that could be maneuvered or messed with physically? Because I have this desire to want to just like pull its mouth open and like look inside.
You could absolutely try if you want to. Like this face has gotten larger at this point in time. Like lots of the faces that are sticking out are just like some of them are smaller than a head. Lots of them are head size. This one's about the size of 3 heads, and so sorry, that's much more than 3 heads. 5 heads. So it is fairly large. If you want to try to reach in there, you absolutely can.
Oh, this is such a bad idea. I'm going to do it. I'm going to try and like reach in there and like, hold on, I'm coming.
So you see what looks like an esophageal tube going down.
Oh gosh. Do we have anything to like, maybe we can just make it throw up. Throw something down.
Can we, do you have any rope?
I don't.
I'm
looking at everything I have.
You're not able to orient yourself. Like I said, kill him. You do hear this voice that sounds familiar calling you from, you can't quite help if it is anyway, but deeper. But you're so disoriented, you don't even know if that's accurate. What do you want to do?
I hear a familiar voice from somewhere deeper.
Right.
Like that's my only.
It's your own. Like it feels deep. Like you can't like you don't know if it's up or down. Like all you just sense is like it's almost like it's thicker that direction.
Yeah. I mean, I'll try to move towards the familiar voice. I guess. Yeah.
So y'all have pulled out this rope. What are you doing with it?
No, we don't have rope.
Oh, you don't have rope.
No, I was going to tie it to
just
Gherkin.
grab stuff, any stuff, just throw it in there.
This is so weird.
I feel like I want to try to bust off a long piece of the banister.
Okay, so you get a long piece of the banister.
Do I need to roll for that, or is that?
No, it's an
okay.
I mean, the way I've described the banister, it's rickety enough that if you want a piece, you can get a piece.
Yeah. Can I just shove it down this head the size of 5 heads throat and see if I can?
Sure.
Okay. I probably scream at the head while I'm doing it. Tell it to give my kids back.
Give your kids back. So you do that, and all of a sudden, like you hear, and it like pops, and there's like a hole for a second. Well, you haven't seen this thing do yet. Usually they get sucked back in, but it like pops, and all of a sudden, like you can see kind of behind it, and then like you see other heads rushing to fill that spot.
Oh no.
So Thrag, make me a D6 roll real quick.
5.
So you can hear that voice even clearer now. But it sounds like Thrag calling to you.
It sounds like Thrag. I'll scream as loud as I can. Thrag!
Like you open your mouth and you hear, like you feel like that sand stuff, like that clay that you inhaled earlier. It seems like everything around you is made of that. It's trying to force its way down your throat when you try to scream. Make a bloodthirsty roll for me.
Oh, this is really uncomfortable. 20. Natural 20.
You're able to kind of force it back and like push out, and as you do, you get a little bit of clarity, and like you almost like you can see that there's this mound of like tubes that goes further down, like very quickly as you like push it out of the like everything out in front of you, and you can see Thrag's face down at the bottom of that, made out of this same sand, towards the bottom of this pit. What are y'all doing outside? Then it closes back up.
Did we happen to hear him yelling, or is it just radio silence on our end?
I think. I mean, again, there's so many voices around you that are saying like, like leisure is the mother of philosophy, and like, like
shut up! I'm trying to hear.
what we are what we do, repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act but a habit.
Okay. Mercy, new plan. We burn this place down and never speak of this again.
but Killam's our friend, and Thrag is ostensibly our friend. We have to get him out of there.
All right. Friend-ish.
Gherkin, do something. This is your house.
Like Gherkin like pops up and like runs over and like goes what was it, one tap for no? It's just like tap 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 tap. Like you wouldn't be able to tell whether it was no or yes if I hadn't asked that question. But it's just like tapping repeatedly.
Gherkin, rope.
Yes.
Then like starts to run off like behind the stairwell.
I'll
Thrag,
follow him. But
you're gonna go ahead and take another kill him. You're gonna take another hit of damage. What do you want to do?
I want to keep moving closer to where I saw Thrag's face.
Okay.
And
Make a
scream
bloodthirsty
while
roll
I'm doing
for me.
it. Bloodthirsty roll. Gotcha. That's 6 + 5, so 11.
It's you don't feel like you're making a hole. Like you feel like you moved a little bit closer, but you can't. It's so hard to get through this space.
Mm. Would a use of acrobatics help me in here?
Oh, absolutely. Like if you want to figure out a good way to dexterously propel yourself forward, you can go ahead and execute that. You like kind of like twist and spin and like almost like diving through water, like kick off and push yourself downward. And you feel yourself move significantly closer. You're about halfway to where you saw him.
All right.
Are y'all following Gherkin or what are y'all up to?
I'm gonna follow him, but keep an eye, or at least keep Mercy in line of sight if I can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'll stay with the heads and continue menacing them.
Like so, Gherkin gets up to a door and like starts like knocking on it, like behind the stairs.
I kick down the door.
There's a set of stairs going down into the
Oh,
basement.
for God's sake!
Is that a basement? From across the room.
And I will also say there's so many like as soon as you open this, like it doesn't slam against the wall. It's like bang, and then it like softly goes back as all these webs catch it gently before it hits the wall.
No, this
you can
isn't
see
the
the
basement.
stairs straight down. It's right there. There's just webs all around the top of this.
This is not a basement. This is a spider closet.
Now that said, I will say this. That's some pretty thick strands of spider silk.
Ooh.
However, Gherkin
What's
is
your
headed
lantern?
down the stairs also.
Gherkin, bring back something useful.
Yeah, so you've got this head that's like bubbling up and it's like getting bigger and bigger down below. What are you doing down inside again? You still just trying to work your way closer against Thrag?
Yeah, and try to scream at it. Like, Thrag, what are you doing? Get me out of here.
So
This
you
isn't
push
funny anymore.
you push down again. Are you using acrobatics? Are you going to trigger acrobatics?
I don't have
again?
any more uses of acrobatics
Okay,
today.
so make a dexterous or bloodthirsty roll for me, just depending on how you want to approach it.
That's 19 + 5, 24. Bloodthirsty roll.
You push yourself down, and you like all of a sudden like as you push out, and again you see this as you sweep out your arms powerfully. You see the sand kind of part for a second, and you can see Thrag's face kind of like in front of you. And it's like you can see it's made out of the same white powdery sand, and there's like tears weeping out of each of the corners as he calls your name again, and then like it closes it. He's like right in like the head is right in front of you, but he's like it's just a head. Go ahead and take another hit of damage for me, also.
Oh my god! All right.
Oh no!
You also feel like now that you've gotten further down, like you can feel that there's something solid underneath you.
All right.
So you've reached a barrier of some sort.
Can I stand on it?
You can put your feet on it, yeah. Like you can
Yeah,
bring
I'll
it yourself.
put my feet on it. And
What are you doing, Mercy?
I think I've given up trying to menace these heads, and I'm going to try to like reason with them, and like I'm gonna do my best to sound smart, but I'm just not. So if I was to philosophize a way to get my friend out of your vortex, how would I go about that? She's trying to negotiate with them, like get them engaged in conversation.
You see a head pop over, and it's like, well, man is condemned to be free. I mean, he's already secure within, so why trouble him any further?
Well, because philosophically he would be dead if he stayed in there, right? He's come out here with the food and the air.
Ah, but death is an entry point into something new, something grander.
You're terrifying.
So that you reach the bottom, like I said, you found Thrag's face in this liquid sand, and you've been able to plant your feet down. What do you want to do?
Thrag, can you hear me?
Yes, get out.
I'm trying to. How do I get out?
Run.
What is happening? Run? What about you? Are you in danger?
It's too late for me.
I won't leave you behind, Thrag. I want to pick the head up. Or try to run away with it.
Do you have any holy?
I have one holy.
Make a plus holy roll for me.
Oh no.
No, that's a 2 plus 1, so 3 in total.
Your hands just kind of stream through Thrag's face as you try to like grab him to you, and you feel all but abandoned by the yak god, as if whatever you did to the largest yak from your mountain has displeased them greatly.
Oh no.
And they have turned their eyes from you. Go ahead and take another point of damage also too, as you're starting to slowly suffocate. What is Navi? What is Mercy? She's just philosophizing. Is what we had you doing. What is Van doing?
Are there long rugs going down the stairs? Are there tall curtains?
There are rugs going down the stairs. Like, yeah.
Are they going to fall apart when I try to do something with them, or do they look like they could hold some weight?
Who knows?
God
there's a like you can easily grab an 8-foot long, fairly stable piece of rug.
All right. I pull it down the stairs, wrap one arm around, or wrap one end of it around my arm, give the other end to Mercy, and say, "Hold on to this."
Okay. So this thing is about 12 foot, like there's about 12 feet of sand at the base, and it kind of balloons up and outward. So you dive into this sand,
Yep.
and go ahead and make that same one roll and tell me what your pluses are on all your things.
All right. My roll is 5 again. I have
You don't
6.
need to worry about telling me what all your things are.
Fantastic. Let's save some time.
You get in, you immediately feel lost in this thing. Like you don't know what direction this. Like the only thing you know is I've got my arm attached to this rug, and thank God. And like Mercy, you just feel a strong pull on that as you get in, and it almost is like the guy who you were just arguing with, who's like, it's a good time to die. Like it almost looks like this is feeding into his mouth and sucking you in, is what it almost seems like in this moment. Greg, you have your feet underneath you. You know that at some point, and logically based on, even though you didn't, you're like, I think the logical thing that you understand is you're near the bottom to whatever this thing is.
I'm near the bottom, so I can continue moving downwards.
No, you've reached the bottom. Like you are, like whatever you put your feet on, the only thing it could be is the bottom, because the rest of this stuff is just suspended in midair.
All right, and Thrag told me to run, so I'll try to run in just whichever way I'm facing.
Awesome. Make a d6 roll for me.
3.
You all of a sudden like see yourself burst out, like you like burst out, like we watched Van like step in. He's in there, like Mercy, you get yanked forward, and you're getting kind of drawn into this mouth. Then all of a sudden, Thrag, like you burst out the other side, like off to the side. Mercy, you kind of see it as Van has been pulled in.
Oh no! Like I'm just like holding on. I watch. I'm like, oh, I'm so glad. Oh no.
And Thrag, you're like sucking in air, collapse to the ground. Like
this is not the time for that.
Summon the strength of the Yak God.
That's right. I'm gonna need you to stop that and come help.
Stop throwing up sand, damn it.
Because I'm holding onto the rope for dear life, but I'm getting drawn in. So.
All right, I'll grab a hold of the what is it? A rug?
Yeah.
I'll grab a hold of that too and help Mercy.
So y'all are pulling back on the rug. You put your strings behind it. Give me a D20 roll.
Both of us?
No, just let's do Mercy at this point in time because he actually is most aware of what's going on.
12.
That's fine. With the two of you, like you are able to start pulling back this rug out. All of a sudden, you like see a hand pop out, and then all of a sudden we see Van like slide down to the ground.
Oh yeah.
This place is horrible.
It is. Let's leave.
Now let's burn it down.
I found Thrag down there in the bottom, at the bottom of all this.
You didn't
sand.
bring him with you?
I tried. He said it was too late for him, and he told us to run. So, yeah, I'm seconding that suggestion. Burn the place down.
Well, Thrag always knew best, and then we just book it.
I mean, well, we came all this way. We should at least find some extremely valuable keepsakes of Thrag to take with us. And totally not sell for money.
I have a hard time arguing with that.
Yeah.
So the most valuable things you've seen so far were the items you ate dinner on the night before, the collapsible table. There's obviously gherkin sand, which is invaluable, and a lot of other things you have it. So the areas, knowing Thrag that those things would probably be in one of the two of, would be in the main bedroom or down in the basement, one of the two.
Okay, well, we know there's no basement because it's the spider closet. So I'm thinking bedroom.
Right. So let's go upstairs.
So
wants to.
as you get to the top of the steps,
before that, I want to take Gherkin with us. Before
you
we
pick
go
up
upstairs.
Gherkin, you just like stick him on your shoulder in your pocket or whatever.
Yeah, like maybe like under an epaulette or something.
You get to the top of the steps. This door is locked to the master bedroom. It is locked 3 times.
Wait, I have something for this. I brought the perfect gift. I brought a rat that's trained to steal keys.
I've got lock picking.
Oh yeah.
like
right,
Mercy's
so
excitedly explaining what the rat can do, and all of a sudden,
the rat's really, really aggressive. Anyways, I didn't really
Van's
want to
like,
Get it out of the cage.
click, click, click. Man, you can mark out 3 uses of lock picking for me. You get into the main room, and it is in contrast to everything else. It is opulent. There, you still see some of the exposed wall, but this is the Brooklyn. This is the Williamsburg exposed wall chic of a modern apartment, right? Like this is somebody's charging you more for this type of distress on the wall, and it's like there's trophies. Very sentimental ones kind of lining this room. There also is, each of you sees a box with your name on it.
Wow. I'll go over and open mine.
I have my crossbow ready.
You see, as you open it up, you see a gilded and jewel encrusted yak harness inside.
Cool.
Ooh,
That'll look great on your. Oh wait, shit.
Yeah.
course, I'm out for the yak.
I'm gonna go open my box next. I'm like, surely jewels and golden encrusted.
It is a wheel of incredibly expensive imported cheese.
Ooh, jeez.
All right, crossbow in one hand, pointed at the box. Dagger in the other. I use it to lift up the lid of my box.
It's a severed human leg.
Oh.
All right, now I've got a pair.
No.
However, the you look down at the shoe that it's wearing, and you realize that it's one incredibly well crafted boot that looks like it's perfect for skulking through the shadows. But just one of them.
Yeah. Well, he always had a sense of humor.
And so
That he did.
as you tear yourself out of this horrible place, setting it on fire, gherkin may be the most valuable thing you got in the entire process. You actually hear the howling of 1,000 philosophers as this place kind of burns down in the distance as you're walking your way back to Infinopolis. After all that, I mean, you can grab anything else you wanted to in the process. There's other trophies, other things like that. We'll make some loot rolls as you go as well. But you've now escaped the condemned estate of Thrag, your ex friend, and that's the end of the session of Down We Go.
The moral of the story is philosophy is bullshit.
Philosophy is bullshit. It's a little bit less dungeon crawly than I would have normally probably run it, but like I said, because I didn't necessarily get the prep time I did. But that's one of my favorite things is about this. It was the ability to ask you all those rumors and then weave a lot out of that. Like I knew there was going to be some big art piece that was going to be weird and bizarre. Eventually that just kind of evolved and morphed into this living sand thing based on some of the rumors that y'all had, which was is Thrag's top level ability. And as a mystical, he discovered how to sculpt this living sand and imbue people's consciousness into it, and then accidentally fell in one day and recently and drowned inside of it, trapping himself inside.
So close to the weekend.
Oh no.
So close to the weekend. Rondon is the art piece. That is correct. Y'all could have become art forever. And so
I would have been the worst philosopher in there.
to be like, yeah, but philosophy means stuff. No, I'd love the attempts to be like, I want to philosophize, but I'm not good at it. And so we've got 54 minutes left on Down We Go. We have 405 backers. We're at $18,385 dollars right now. It's been an awesome ride. I'd love to talk about the session with y'all. I actually love feedback just because I'm trying to get better at a lot of stuff in OSR, including telegraphing and other stuff like that. Again, a lot of this was I had some loose ideas about what Condemned was going to be like, and those were well formed. I had a loose map. There was other stuff to explore within that. It was a large dungeon footprint also too. But I would love to hear Navi and Walton. This is your first time getting to play Down We Go, at least on stream, which is one of our goals, is to get as many of our folks on the team on to play at some point in the process. What was your experience like?
Oh my gosh, I loved this. I am actually relatively new to OSR. Just kind of uncovered it over the last couple months and really jumped into it. And this was probably my favorite experience with it. Like, it felt really good. The role system feels absolutely amazing, especially since I tend to think that some OSR games can feel kind of unsatisfying, almost a little, big dragon gamey with the pass and fail. This was outstanding. I loved every minute of it.
Awesome. Love it. Love hearing that. Any questions that you have for Markus or me, especially again, somebody who's already doing some design work in it, or if not, can you give us a little bit of taste about what we're expecting in the Velvet?
Oh, the Velvet is going to be loaded with some creepy options. When you come up to the floating theater, it has the ability to take on multiple guises, and I won't ruin all of them, but one is, of course, a classic vampire theater. and there's going to be a little bit of scary circus action. We always fit scary fairies into everything we do. So there is definitely a creature that you can encounter that its main move is breaks your things and laughs.
Ah, awesome.
Which, as a GM, I love the permission to be like, yeah, this thing isn't attacking your health. That cool stuff you have, though, it's just breaking it. And so, awesome. Did you have any questions for Markus, or anything that's come up while you've been designing that you've been curious about?
No, I honestly can't say that. Everything is so beautifully laid out and just easy to digest and easy to understand. It's a very elegant system. I really can't say that enough, how good it feels to play this. I will play this again, and I will design for this forever.
Oh,
awesome. Love hearing that.
Thank you so much.
So, Walton, how about you?
Yeah, I've actually run Down We Go before, but I haven't gotten to play, and I'm happy to report that it's just as streamlined and easy on both sides for the player and the GM, so that's awesome. That's really what I love about it. It's such an elegant system, but it doesn't feel like you're sacrificing anything for simplicity in any way. Just the abilities and the roles and the levels, you can do just about anything you can imagine, so it adds tons of versatility there, which I can now say firsthand, having played it. And I really liked this scenario. It had, some combat, but I like the just kind of like a sort of like overarching feeling of menace of like what's going to happen next, rather than, oh crap, this thing right in front of me.
Right.
And what you did with the statue of the philosophers was just great. That made a great centerpiece to the whole thing and a really good climax. Yeah,
I was like, if you wanted to ramp this up, you could absolutely let the spiders go wild and do a little bit more of a bug hunt, combat heavy, like they're all coming out of different places in the house. And I wanted the ability to give y'all that option if you wanted to be like, yeah, we're going to, like, spiders, we're going to fight it. If you had fought that first spider, more spiders probably would have showed up. But, like, again, it's one of the things I like about OSR is just like the ability to very much respect a player's decision is very evident in the ethos of most OSR. I mean, as long as you don't have a toxic GM, and them, it gives the players the ability to really say, this is what we're interested in exploring, and this is the type of stuff we want to do. And I'd obviously built this one a lot around the memories of your experiences with this, because I wanted to kind of juice that part of the system a little bit and see where it took us. But I absolutely love that aspect. It was one of my favorite things we discovered in the dev process was the Laura's loot system, and figuring out how we encourage people to really kind of crank that up to 11. Chris Manell right now is doing an actual play blog, and just reading his first couple of things where he's like I think an important thing for GMs to remember in Down We Go is it's a system that's very forgiving. If you get somewhere and you're just like, I don't know what or how the characters know this, just being able to be like, ask them. Like, this came up, we were playing with Zedek, Sue, and Diogo, and some of our RPGC creators, BJ and Sam, last week, and I had a telegraphing error, and it was like, because there was significant danger, and I wasn't able to really give Diogo the ability to respond, and I realized in that moment, or after that moment, I should have just been like, how do you know that there's something in the water that's dangerous to you right now, right? Because it was a very dark, quiet space, given all the different kind of descriptors that we had already identified. And so just asking him that question would have been an easy way to telegraph to the player, you are, you tell me how, because right now I don't know how to communicate it to you. So this is my way of doing that while still respecting the need for narrative. And I think as a GM, that's a really comforting thing to have, especially as you're exploring OSR spaces for the first time, potentially.
Yeah.
So.
I love that as a player as well, because I'm being like handed the weapon, like, here, hurt yourself. Oh, and it's a lot of fun.
Navi, I loved your willingness to put yourself out, which also I don't think you ever got really that hurt because you did the dumb thing. It was like everybody else was, and you're like, I'll do the dumb thing. And doing the dumb thing is always the best position or the worst position to be in, but you just never know which one it was. And so that's awesome. Markus, what was it like to play through the estate, if you want to talk about that? But more so from you, what I would love to hear is 10 months ago, I was like, come play a game on stream with me. Now we've funded a campaign. We've got art built up for it. You've got all these other people who have rallied around the system, are huge fans of it. How are things for you right now?
Absolutely bonkers, to be honest. I mean, this whole thing has been just such a wild ride. I would never have imagined any of this. I mean, just writing this game, like I told you, it took me like to actually write the game took me like 2 evenings to put it all together because it was all in my head. It was just a matter of getting it down on paper in a neat way and just posting it and seeing getting some feedback like, wow, I love this, I like this is great, blah blah blah. So I kind of understood right away that, okay, maybe I'm onto something here. And then you reached out and we played. I was so nervous. And like from there to here, it's just, I mean, 18,000. This is amazing. I don't think I've fully digested it yet, to be honest. It's 18. It's just some numbers on a screen, but it's $18,000. This is insane. And even I mean, the thing that really gets to me more than the money, because I mean, I love that we are giving more money to all the great people who contributed to the game, but there are 405 backers. That makes me even more happy.
Yeah, I love watching the community support rally around it. And like I said, like we've got, there's a couple, we can't talk about who or what specifically yet, but like, one we can, like Through the Void, like we're going to do the same thing, hopefully with Through the Void that we've done with Down We Go. And that's take it and build it out and make it bigger. And that'll be this kind of the space version of Down We Go. But we've also got somebody who's from another publishing company who's loved the system, who's going to be making some games in it and looking at putting those out for crowdfunding also in kind of zine weight format. We had somebody today who released a roguelite version of it using a deck of cards that generates the dungeon for you. That's a very different take on how to do solo play for it. In addition to adding like our own solo rules, for me, it's always exciting when I see something that I'm like, I love this thing. It's always really beautiful to me when I see those things and I share it with somebody else, which is easier when it's not mine, and watching other people respond and say like, I love this thing too, right? And it's almost weird to be, I think, like for me, when I'm a designer and that happens, I'm like, it's weird to be in the middle of that. And for me, it's wonderful when you're in the middle of that. I can be like, look how great Markus is. Like, it was really funny. Like every time we booked media for this, it was like, oh, it's in the evening or it's whenever, like Markus can't do it. Like there's been a couple times where we haven't, you've been on a lot of streams, I was doing it, but like, I'm always worried people are going to be like, oh, look at this great thing that +1 EXP did. And I'm like, really, this is a great thing that Markus did. And like that we've built a community of support around, and look at all the great designers who came into this. Like I can't imagine designing in a different way, because it makes it so comfortable to be like, here's 15 of us who took something Markus made, and then like we all walked forward together and said, like, we're all going to put our voices and stuff in this. And I love that design process. Like Spencer Campbell's doing it right now for the Slayer's Almanac and building that up. And so it's just really cool to see more and more of that community design stuff happening. And I think Down We Go is such a great example of why that's a strong way to pursue game design, when historically that's been something only big companies will put together 20 people to work on a project. Small zines don't. And I think Down We Go is an excellent example of why that's such a strong way to consider design.
Absolutely.
So, any other thoughts anyone else has? We're not going to hang out for another 44 minutes, as much as it'd be fun to just watch it click over. I mean, I'll be watching it for the next 44 minutes. I'll
still be watching it.
I always talk about like one of the hardest things for me is like, because I'm good at marketing and getting the word out, we don't get the same kind of crazy last 48 hours that other campaigns will get, where it's like which is kind of nice, but also like I'm always waiting for it to be like, oh, look, another $3,000 or $4,000 came in the last 8 hours. Like I always want one of those, and I've never had it, but it's fine. Like it just means we did a good job of letting people know about it in advance and got people to get out there and support it early, which is what you actually want.
Yes.
Not to be like at the last minute. And so I'm super excited about it. We are going to be doing a jam. Probably in November. There's a thing called Side Quest right now that we're going to do some stuff during, not for Down We Go specifically, but we'll do a Down We Go jam in November once we've got the creator kit done, once we've got more of the editing done, once we've got the ability to showcase a little bit more of a finished project. We'll put it out for backers to be able to look at, and we'll really encourage people to start creating in the space. And we probably need to think about a couple things like the tomb and the tower are already taken. So how do we help people creatively name their things so everybody searching the tomb doesn't all get like, hey, here's the one super popular tomb, but there's some other tombs also too. So,
on that note, I know that there's no firm date for it yet, but it seems like we're adding Together We Go to Ex Libris RPG. So there will be a venue for finding all of those without having to battle the algorithm for it.
Oh, cool.
That's the first time that's gotten announced publicly, and I wasn't going to be the one to do it. But since no,
Ta-da!
you're fine. I'm not the one in charge of Ex Libris, so I wasn't going to put. I don't want pressure on y'all to timeline any of that because I want Mouse Ritter has so much content that needs to go. I mean, all that stuff. So we'll figure that out. But yes, I am very excited about the ability to catalog that. We just need some
Me too.
some simple naming nomenclature to make that happen. So that's it's one of our post-campaign reveals. But if you're here right now, one of the 3 people left with us,
don't tell anyone.
You're super welcome to that information, or if you're watching later, right? And you can also go shout it from the rooftops. So, but yeah, I'm super thrilled with the response we got. GameFound also, like, as much as I know we probably would have made more on Kickstarter, like, I'm super satisfied having used GameFound because I think it showcased what it can do for a smaller creative team, like a creative project. Also, most of the GameFound projects have been like, our funding goal is $50,000, and we were like, we would like $44,500, please, and had just as much success on it as anybody else did. So I'm super thrilled by that, and can't wait to see what happens when they open all the rest of it up too. So, yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna go figure out if my kids have eaten yet or not because they probably haven't.
Me too.
They probably have not. And watch for the next 40 minutes as things tick down. If you haven't backed yet, please do. If you miss the backing opportunity, feel like the pledge manager will be up as soon as I figure out all the shipping things. Since we have 4 different locations we're shipping out of, it'll take a little bit more time, but we will have pre-sales up as part of that process. Also, I may just process all pre-sales out of the U.S. to make that a little bit easier, but I might not. So just don't. We'll figure that out over the next couple of weeks.
Let's see.
And you'll be able to pre-order, and hopefully it'll be out not too long from now. Most of the content's done. We've got a lot of the stretch goal writing that needs to happen, but again, part of the nice thing is because the system is so clean. Walt and I should actually probably let you speak to this. The editing process isn't as complicated because it's an iterative process and not a new thing every single time. And so I'm super excited about it. I think most of our really text heavy stuff is already in except for one. And so that's super exciting. But with that said, I'm going to be off. I'm going out of town next week. I'm going to be away from my computer for a whole week. It'll be great. I'm not going to think about things at all. And then we'll hit it hard when we come back at the beginning of October. So we don't have any streams coming up, but in beginning of October, we are doing Slayers. The first week of October, we're playing The Company. Coming up also, we've got a lot of horror-themed stuff happening next month here on Plus One EXP. Interviews with creators, always just like normal. And we're talking about trying to schedule a panel of horror RPG creators. We've already got about 4 of them lined up who are really excited about that. We're trying to find a 5th voice right now to come in and talk about what it's like to design in horror spaces and how, regardless of whether system matters or not, do you design with an intentional ability to help encourage horror stories to be told at the table? Because this story could have been horrific because there are a lot of really heavy concepts that I played around with in it. But that's not how I run things almost ever, and so it wasn't. And so... but with that said, we're just going to wave goodbye to everybody until they take us off the screen.
Thanks for having me. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching.